I will say this. I agree with Benjamin in the limited issue that it is evidence, but the evidence does not appear to me, and again, I haven't looked at it. I will take CM's word for it because it's his wheelhouse, that the evidence is not credible, not believable, and not substantial. But it is evidence. And with that, let's go to Pro. Pro, happy Mother's Day. JCC, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I
for
forgot
covering
to
that.
Happy Mother's Happy Mother's Day to all of them.
Yeah, yeah. Pro, good morning. Happy Mother's Day. What would you like to talk about? We cannot hear you, Pro. I know we heard you earlier. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah, there we go. Hi.
1 2 1 2. Yeah. I was just going back to I think it's Kai's question. I don't think anybody answered, or maybe it wasn't because it was posed like a question necessarily. But I guess I wanted to speak to something that came up then.
Of course.
Um, cool. I think he said something to the extent of category error. It sounded like he was talking. Um, he I forget what exactly
Well, how about
he
if we
said.
start with just to refresh all of our info, all of our knowledge? How do you define a category error?
Well, when you're talking about something that is, when you're making some kind of a claim about something that has nothing to do with the category of what you're talking about. So, like he said something to the effect like, why, like what's the benefit of being an atheist? Right? And I mean, and it's kind of like saying like, what's the benefit of believing Yoda is not my basement? It kind of misses the category, right? Like the main issues, not whether your disbelief is useful. It's more if it's true. Like Andrew is in here, he'd say true justified belief, right? It's the kind of thing that's supported by the evidence. I don't think atheism is something you adopt benefits of. That's why I'm calling it a category. It's a result of just not being convinced that whatever these God claims are that somebody has are true. Like, but I guess if there was a benefit, I don't know, intellectual honesty, maybe, like being concerned with what you believe to be that is, not pretending to believe something if the evidence doesn't persuade me. You know, and that's kind of what I was expecting somebody maybe to jump on, but didn't seem anybody went in that direction.
Thank
So
you. And
that's the
I'm sorry. Well, please continue. I thought you were finished. Please continue.
well, I mean, that's the main thing. I don't know if that point is agreed to by everybody else here, but that's kind of the stuff that jumped up at me. I mean, I can speak more on it, but I guess it depends if other people have things to say about it.
And before we move on, he criticized me for not answering the question, and I chose not to answer it, not because I didn't have an answer, but because of the time. I'll answer the question now before we move on. For me, the benefit of being an atheist is that I am not tied down in cement to the scriptures that are in the Bible or the scripture in the Torah. I am not going through life trying to reinforce what 2,000-year-old text says. I can keep my mind open and I can continue to reevaluate the legitimacy of God and the scripture with new information. I am not tied down to constantly trying to prove what was written 2,000 years ago. That is one clear benefit for me for being an atheist. Pro, did you want to
I,
respond to that
yeah,
before we move on? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I was trying to do the same thing too, while avoiding what I think is the category, and I think you're trying to do it too. It's not what's the Like, he didn't ask what's the benefit of being an atheist. He asked what's the benefit of believing, right? And so the thing is, like, the belief part is the part that, like, the benefit of belief is not, that's the category, or like and it kind of reveals something. It's kind of like a question like that is saying that you think we people who don't have that belief is like a chosen thing because we're looking for reward, or some kind of social utility or whatever. And I get that, because I think there is a social negative if you don't, especially if you're in groups and stuff. And I think that's telling. I think it's rather than because someone is just convinced by the evidence. And I kind of hold, like a lot of people do who are agnostic and so forth, that we don't really believe that you believe because we just think that you're going, what your question reveals is some kind of reward for you or comfort or identity or one of these things. And those kind of people are making those kind of decisions, and maybe, tacitly, maybe tacitly, maybe subliminally, like subconsciously or something like that, they're convincing themselves of the belief because they are recognizing the benefit first. Like and then true second. And it kind of gives people, the meaning and the morals. That's what I think they're saying. Uh,
Thank
that's
you
it.
very much. Appreciate that. If you're in the audience and oh, thank you. And if you're in the audience and you want to come up, now's a good time. We're probably going to run a little late. We had some technical issues. And Pro, by the way, if you weren't here in the morning, if you weren't here at the start of the show, we had a couple of guys come on that literally locked up the show. We don't know how they did it or whatever, but we had to restart the room, and I'm not sure if anybody took their
What
name
does that mean?
down. They
What does that
came
mean?
on they came on stage and prevented us from doing anything except closing down the room. Yeah, JCC, please.
Yeah, what happened was there was two guys with the same profile pic and name Elijah, and I don't remember
So
actually, and they were green characters, and they came on stage unmuted, and one guy had a noise, and I tried to, as soon as I clicked on their profile, it locked up my screen, and I had to leave and come back. So the only thing we could do was shut down the room.
Yeah, we tried to mute them. We tried to mute them to the audience. We were unable to access any of the clubhouse options to do it. So we had our only option left was to close the room.
yeah,
Pardon the pun. Thank God we could close the room.
it's a new glitch, so I don't know who discovered.
Yeah, it's
But
a new glitch. So just be mindful of that when you run your rooms. Yeah. And there you have it. Let's go to Cartman. Oh, by the way, my current queue is Cartman, Jerry, Pluto, and Emma. Cartman, good morning. Welcome to the show. What would you like to unmute? And we're hearing a lot of, yeah. Cartman once.
Steve, in case it wasn't clear to you, all three of those accounts are very close friends, so I can speak to
It
all
was
three.
not clear to me. So now, Pluto, you are first. And believe me, Pluto, I remember you redid your profile based on the vote of the people in the room. Go ahead.
Not only do I love this room enough to create one profile, but I have there's now three profiles that were named by this room, and but it would be piggish to have all three come in and take 15 minutes instead of five. So when you see all three of those characters, Steve, you'll know they're only asking for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Pluto. Thank you.
So I want to, instead of addressing Woodland Hills, I want to address my second favorite topic, which is atheism. And so I'll just start off by saying I think all the atheists in this room are smart to be atheists. I think it gives them comfort. And there's nothing wrong with the people in this room who are atheists. But I have a moral objection to atheists uh, proselytizing for atheism or even praising it publicly. I think atheism should be a private vice because I think atheism is terrible for 99% of the population. Atheism only works for people who have a very high genetic IQ and great self-discipline. If you have high genetic IQ and great self-discipline, you should be an atheist. But if you are raising children that are not in that category or grandchildren, I look at atheists like the people in this room exactly the way I look at heroin users who proselytize for heroin usage, right?
Ouch, that hurt. Please
Okay,
continue.
so I'm gonna explain why. Imagine there's a person on stage who has discovered he could take heroin and it has no negative effects. It makes him happy, it makes him productive, and he takes a ton of heroin every day, and his life is great. And his first urge for such a person, you're taking heroin every day, your first urge is to come on Clubhouse and say, hey, I've got good news. I take heroin all the time and it doesn't hurt me. And that person can be the most ethical, moral person in the world. And they can be honest and sincere, but they are hurting society because when they tell people that I take heroin and it's great, there's going to be idiots and retards in the audience that says, oh, that guy on stage takes heroin. He's okay. I should start taking heroin. And we know we have ample scientific evidence. The overwhelming majority of people on Clubhouse that start taking heroin, it ruins the lives of their family. And so, for that reason, I'm gonna close by saying I don't give a shit how happy you are taking heroin or meth. I don't care if it's helped you. You have an obligation to keep that shit secret. And it's exactly the same. If you are an atheist and being an atheist has helped you, God bless you. But you are an evil person if you praise atheism on Clubhouse. And I am done speaking.
This is a category error,
I definitely want to respond to that.
and that is a category error.
Yeah,
Yes.
I want to respond, and then we'll go to Emma. And thank you. And believe me, I understand everything that you said. I understand your message. And more importantly, I understand the flavor of your message. I love it. That being said, this is why I run my Saturday show in Casa de Appel called Ask Uncle Steve, and why I run the Sunday show in the Atheism House, Ask the Atheist. This show is not about atheism, believe it or not. We've done many shows, Ask the Atheist, where for 3 hours the topic of atheism, believe it or not, never came up. This show is designed for anybody, especially you, to come up and talk about whatever you want. This is why we never put a restriction on content. If people want to come up and talk politics, we talk politics. If people want to come up and they want to talk about flat earth, although I'm going to grill the hell out of them, we'll talk about flat earth, which is why most flat earthers don't come here. If people want to talk about mathematics or racism or somebody else on Clubhouse, the show is designed to go in the direction where the people that come up. We don't preach atheism. In fact, the only time we talk about atheism is when you, the audience, bring it up. Then we don't preach it, but we give our honest, hopefully sincere opinions about it. I have never been about preaching some, but I'm definitely not going to shy away. If somebody wants to talk about it, if somebody wants to question me about it, if somebody wants to have a debate about it, or last but not least, if someone wants to grill me about it, I am up to the task. And Pluto, thank you for your comment. Let's go. And if you're in the audience, you want to come up, please do. Let's go to Emma. Emma, hi. What would you like to talk about? Hi.
Well,
Like that, Emma.
uh, it
You
was
can say you have no preference. It's just Steve being Steve. That's okay. No problem.
what you said that I like.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think that was fair and
Thank you.
sincere.
I
Yeah,
try and be fair. I really do my best to be fair.
yeah. Well, when we first got here, the reason I came up onto this stage was because someone was saying something about like Christians or believers, not just anybody that believes in God in any religion, uh, being insincere and disgenuine and
I
something
remember
like
that.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that at all. So
Why?
yeah. So I believe that I know what I believe, and I have reasons for my belief that are deeply personal to me and true, and I wouldn't be dishonest about that.
Right, which means no one's
Yeah.
going to change your lifelong belief in a 5 or 10 minute discussion. We know that.
Right, but I don't ever endeavor to change other people's ideas either if they don't believe or something like that. That's not my
Right.
purpose. Yeah. So like that's why places like this I see them as a point of sharing rather than a point
Yeah.
of conversion. Yeah.
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 I never try and convince anybody that believing in God is wrong or that it's not logical, even though many people come up and try and convince me that being an atheist or not believing in God is not logical. My humble opinion is that whether or not you choose to believe in God or you choose not to believe in God, both beliefs or lack of beliefs are logical. There's
Yes.
nothing illogical about being an atheist or believing in God.
Right, because for me, like there's things that I've witnessed in my life that perhaps other people haven't witnessed. So that's why, yeah,
You want to hear something that I personally witnessed?
yes,
I've been thinking about when to bring this onto the show, and this is the perfect time to do this. Now, for those of you that have been listening to me for 5 years, I pride myself on being honest and sincere, and this may or may not blow you away. I witnessed my father's death recently, and the family and I were all around my father in and out of the room when it actually happened. Now, my father's had a dog, a Doberman Pinscher, for 8 years. And during the entire time that we were there, before it actually happened, when we were saying goodbye and when the actual event happened, up until the time the actual event happened, the dog was running around saying hello to everybody and such like that, but hadn't, for a dog, said a word or barked. And then when my dad was finally declared dead, within 5 seconds, and the dog was outside, the dog started barking. Now, I'm telling you that this is 100% factually true and correct. And when that happened, it made me reevaluate, not change my, but reevaluate whether or not there is a soul and whether or not God existed. But I'm telling you all right now, 100% factually correct, that my dad's dog had not barked all morning. And then right after he was declared dead, my dad's dog started barking. What does that mean? It's just something I'll never forget. Emma, did you want to contribute any more, or are you good? That's a true story, y'all.
yeah. No, I see things like that as. I mean, I'm very sorry for your loss. First of all,
Thank you.
he raised a good man, so I'm
You're very kind. My dad was an amazing man, but you're very kind. Thank you for the
Yeah.
compliment.
I mean, this is Mother's Day, but we can think about it.
Yes, my mom passed away a couple of years ago. Yeah,
Well, sorry for both of you.
you're very kind. Thank you.
But yeah, when I see things like that happen, it means a great deal to me. Um, I do believe in the soul and the spirit, obviously, because who I am and what I think. Uh, I, j- I think the animals are more sensitive to things, and sometimes I think that the people that we love just want to let us know that they're there for us. Yeah. Mm, I'll remember it. Exactly, I'll remember it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Emma. Are you good for now?
I just wanted to finish saying,
Sure.
if there's a reason why someone thinks, I'd like to ask people here why they think that when they encounter somebody who's a believer, why they think they're being disingenuous, or why they think they're being, you know, I don't know, deluded about it. Like, why is that their assertion? Like, what do you think that Christians are getting out of it when they try to share that?
I'm sorry. Repeat. I missed the first part of what you said. I'm sorry.
Why do people like? Why do any of you here feel like Christians are being disingenuous when they encounter you and they're just when you ask them,
I no, I don't think all Christians are being disingenuous. I think some Christians are being disingenuous, and I answered that back when that issue came up. I answered. Go ahead and go on mute. I think you've got some water in the background. No, that's okay. And Yeah, we'll come back to you to say goodbye. I responded. I believe some Christians are being disingenuous. I use the example of Christians on Clubhouse. How come when I go into Christian rooms, I never ever hear "Love thy neighbor"? How come I never ever hear "Forgive them, for they know not what they do"? Which, based on my understanding, which of course could be wrong, are the main tenets, the centerpiece of Christianity. What I hear are people arguing back and forth about what 2,000-year-old words mean. And because there's a period, a comma, or a semicolon before or after a word, or what this means, or how the word was interpreted 2,000 years ago, they argue back and forth about that. That's where I find some of the that's where I'm confused.
I see.
That's where and who was that? Was that a mom?
Alfonso, yeah.
Oh yeah, Alfonso.
Yeah. We'll just grab the mic for a bit.
Well, great. And a housekeeping issue: don't invite anybody else up. It looks like Colleen will be our last new speaker. We're going to go over a little bit because we started late on this. Go ahead, Alfonso. Take the first.
Glad you brought the not preaching atheism and under atheism, because that's been my my intention since day one. The reason I started running rooms here and created the Atheism House was to have conversations with people who disagreed with me and not being shoved to the goo, because that's what had happened to me. And I wasn't even being aggressive. I think most people know me. I'm not someone who can hot and tries to prove everyone wrong.
That's why you and I are such great brothers from another mothers and partners. Your strengths are my weaknesses, and my weaknesses are your strength.
But the openness to talking and not, you know, having the agenda for atheism is something we have in common. Um, and so yeah, I started running rooms again because I think for a while a lot of people really got on my case. They started to really bash me, and it was quite nasty to have people come in and just say that I was, being a horrible person just because I wouldn't allow people to yell and insult others. And I was even more horrible because I allowed you to run your rooms and, according to them, take over the Atheism House, which, from the very beginning, it was a community thing. It was, we all owned the house.
Right. And by the way, I have to, I'm sorry, I'm very compelled to say this. When you and I were being bashed for me taking over the Atheism House, these people that were complaining still were leaders in the house. They had the ability to open rooms anytime they wanted. Go ahead, Alfonso.
And they still do. And we said you're gonna gain your admin badge if you run rooms regularly, at least once a month.
They were upset that I demoted them all as admins. I only wanted the two of us as admins, but they were all leaders and they could open rooms anytime they wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah. And they had the chance of becoming admins, but they would have to, be consistent and open rooms. But instead of doing that, they just started to bicker and whine and complain that, you were just, I was your little bitch, probably.
That I'm a ratings whore. Yes, it's true. I am.
Can we focus on not meta?
Yeah, you know what?
Atheism?
That's right. Thank you, JCC.
I think meta is very much the topic right now. It is.
No, it was actually proselytizing atheism. That was the topic.
And so the Atheism House and the proselytizing of atheism is completely on subject, right? But also remember that you can talk about anything you want. You don't need to stay on topic if you don't want to. That's one of the basic tenets of Ask the Atheist.
Well, can I say something right quick then?
You can when it's your turn, and we will call on you, and we will give you a fresh five. I promise.
Yeah, Lionel's next in queue.
Absolutely. In fact, after Alfonso, it'll be Lionel, Ben, Colleen. All of you will get fresh fives. I promise.
And so this whole situation, put a whole bunch of people um, against me. Just kind of backfired, and I decided to go down and not run rooms. Just hang out, but I couldn't even go into other people's rooms anymore. That turned into this sort of Alfonso witch hunt, I suppose. And so a couple of weeks ago, I started running rooms daily under atheism, and that was it was so refreshing to see that still have a community, still have friends who care about having um, intimate, real conversations, not debates and bashing and insulting people. And so I invite everyone who wants to have a real, in depth, kind, generous conversation to join my rooms. I'm running them every day. I will have a room under my house after this one. It was scheduled for 1 o'clock. I'll probably open at 1:05 when we end this one, or I might even step out a little earlier. But yeah, I mean, I'm really glad to be back running rooms and connecting with people and having real conversations. So, yeah, just push on.
Thank you very much. Okay, as promised, Lionel is next. Lionel, you get a fresh five. Welcome. What would you like to talk about?
I'd like to talk about a statement that you made not too long ago.
Of course.
Yeah. So you made the statement that Earthers don't come in here because you would grill them.
And you always. That's what I think. Yes, that's yes.
Yeah. Let me put that myth to bed.
Okay.
Allow me to give you an.
You want to speak uninterrupted? You got it.
Yeah.
As long as you
So
don't think it's ridiculous. Go ahead.
right. So the first time you came to Flat Earth Room, right? You mentioned your Saturday and your Sunday shows. Um, and I came over the very next Saturday, and I spoke about Flat Earth, and then the entire crowd, like everybody, just ran away from it. It was like nobody really wanted to engage in this topic, and so I concluded that what, this topic isn't for everyone. Some people are scared of it. Some people don't know what to make of it. All right. And so I stopped coming over. I'm like, hey, I'm not going to force a flat earth conversation on the people that don't want to have it. So when you make the statement that, oh, flat earthers don't come here because, I suspect that they know I'm gonna grill them in. So let me be the first to tell you, in terms of people who are in the flat earth community that have the conversation on the regular, we don't duck any smoke. We're more than willing to step into any arena and have the conversation, especially ones that are structured and are non-chaotic. We don't duck no questions. We don't duck no smoke. Most of the people up here have been in our rooms we've engaged with and have slinked away with tails between legs in this conversation. And so to characterize flat earthers as somehow avoiding this room is completely disingenuous. And anytime anyone in here would like to talk flat earth, just let us know. We're more than willing to come here. You don't have to come to the flat earth game. We're more than willing to come here and have discussion you want.
Thank you. And before we move on, I'd love to respond. It is factually 100% correct that Buddy has come in the past couple of months to talk flat earth. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but in response to what you said, you And any and all flat earthers are not only welcome, you are encouraged to come on the show and talk about whatever you want. So when you say that you didn't talk about anybody else, you just spoke about yourself, have chosen not to come in because you don't think anybody wants to talk about it, my response is you and all the other flat earthers are encouraged to come in. We've been here every Saturday, every Sunday, 7 to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for 5 years now. I encourage you all to come in. That's my response to what you said.
Noted. Be seen.
I love it. And with that, I'm going to give you, sir. And by the way, I do remember the first time that I came in to your flat Earth room. I'm giving you the very first class escort down the red carpet to the VIP. Thank you. And let's go to Ben. Ben, you get a fresh five. Good morning.
I don't often come here, but thought I just happened to tune in when sat in the car park of the shop waiting for the family, and I heard you talking about being there when your dad died. I
Yes.
got some idea how that feels because I was in a very similar sounding situation when my grandma died many, many years ago. So I can remember the moment precisely. So I don't really know how to respond. One is with empathy, and I remember my moments vividly. And sorry, your dad died.
Thank you.
Then there's the whole dog barking thing. So, with permission, what I'd like to do for anybody listening who thinks that's about the soul exiting and the dog barking as a result, I'd like to invite a few other possibilities, if that's all right. And I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it based on face value of what in the story. So you don't need to interject and say, well, the dog wasn't in the hay. Well, I don't know where the dog was. You said it was in the garden. So, okay, that's fine. But there could be 1,000 other things from what I say where you could interject. We could have an interactive conversation. And I would have to just come up with new scenarios, which would be fine, but it'd be kind of boring. So let me just give you a bunch just with what you said. You will know that a bunch of these aren't possible because you were there, but nobody else will because we only heard what you said, right? So if you want to wrap up through a few, this is how a scientific mind thinks about something like that, which is why I never end up, but it was the fucking soul. Here you go. So you're in a very griefful moment. Grief is going to modify the way you lay down memories and the way you tell the story. The fact that dog barked soon after the announcement of the death feels meaningful. It's more likely to get shared, for example. Dogs bark a whole bunch. You don't remember the dog barking before your dad died, but there's a possibility you weren't filtering it before that. We would have to have a video, an audio recording to be absolutely sure. Stories like this won't only get shared when there's something like this to share. Had the dog not barked, you wouldn't be talking about it. So there could be 100,000 deaths where a dog doesn't bark within a reasonable time frame, whatever that is after. And those stories don't stick; they don't get shared. So selection bias. The family may have moaned or cried or made some, reacted in some way that the dog then in turn reacted to when the death was announced. On the topic of the death being announced, that could have been any number of minutes after the death actually happened. We don't know. You just said when the death was announced, the dog responded to that. If it was many minutes after, then the death had no correlation. The dog had no correlation to the death. It had a correlation to the announcement, which may have been actually a reaction to people's reaction. Somebody may have rung the doorbell sooner or before or after. Only you would know that. I don't know whether the dog could see into the room. If it could, it would almost certainly be able to pick up on the body language. Pheromones, they've got very good sense of smell, even a directional sense of smell. There's a possibility that the reaction that this caused, either directly from your dad or the other people in the room, had a smell that the dog could pick up within, quote, a few seconds of the announcement of the death. I mean, I could keep going. I could make another 20 of those easily and just keep going. You could constrain those by saying, well, that one's not possible and whatever because of the actual circumstances. But the point I'm trying to point across is I could probably get to 1,000 before I even needed to take breath. Possible other things apart from the soul exited your dad and your dog was upset about it. So that's what I just want to bring to the table. None of those are as romantic or as interesting or as fun. I know which one makes better, I don't know which one's true, but I know which one makes better TV is the type of I look at these things. So anyway, that's my super way of looking at it. And it's still on an emotional human level, it sucks. And you know when somebody's dead when they take the last breath. And it's, I just walked out the room, my grandma died, and I was further noticed. I just said, I'm not coming, I never want to see her again. And that was that. and it was all quite peaceful. But sorry for your loss, and probably wasn't a soul leaving.
Thank you. I'm going to respond, give you a first class escort to the VIP. Trying. Move to the audience. There we go. Okay. Yes, your points are well taken. The uh, There were about 20 to 24 of us there. None of us remember the dog barking during the few hours that they were there before the death actually occurred. That doesn't mean that the dog didn't bark. The dog may have barked. None of us may have heard it. You are 100% correct. But what I described is what all of us remember, but your points are very well taken in that we are not wrapped up in remembering when the dog may have barked prior to that, but all of us remember the dog barking shortly after the death was announced. And you're right, that's how all of us remembered it. Is that accurate? Was it being recorded? No. Was it being filmed? No. Did somebody have their eyes on the dog the entire time? No. You're right. And maybe it is somewhat of romanticism that we all remember it that way. Those are very good points, and uh, I respect you for saying so. Thank you for that. Colleen, you're next. Welcome to the show. You get a fresh five. Hi, Colleen.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say I want to offer my condolences for the
Thank
loss
you.
of your father.
Thank you.
My mother died last year, and I just also lost a romantic partner of 13 years about a month ago. So
My condolences to you.
I know what you're going through.
Yeah, my mom died a few years ago, not due to COVID. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. So I don't know if I came up here for the right reasons or not, but when you described your experience with Christians on Clubhouse,
Yes.
I wanted to offer that. So I am a Christian. I am a member of a non-standard Christian church. It's part of the um, part of the independent sacramental movement. So
Does it fall under the category of non-denominational?
well, it is. We have Catholic beliefs.
Okay.
And a
Fine.
number of us come from the Roman Catholic Church.
Fair enough.
But we don't recognize the Bishop of Rome as the Pope or the leader of the church. We are an independent church. But I just wanted to say that if I got into a group of people and had the experience of that you described of arguing over a comma or a period or which word was used in which 2,000-year-old text, I would leave quickly. That is not what Christianity is about for me. We are very much about love thy neighbor as thyself, and we what we want most of all is to first practice our faith. And I mean, I am in fact studying for the priesthood at this point. I'm also a member of a religious order, and we have worship every Saturday evening on Zoom because we're geographically dispersed. But we practice what we preach. Well, we don't really. I mean, the bishop preaches, but the rest of us follow, and we very much. Our purpose is, first of all, to allow people who have been injured by mainline churches to worship in their own way, and we welcome all kinds of people. Whereas the Catholic Church does not welcome LGBTQ people, we do. Polyamorous, that's fine. So we're very progressive in that way. We don't tolerate, we celebrate. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for your comments, condolences. Another first class escort down the red carpet to the VIP. Let's go to Emma. Emma, thank you for being on the show. Would you like to say goodbye?
Yeah, I thank y'all for letting me be here and talk, and I enjoyed this, and I'm very grateful for it. And I hope y'all have a nice weekend and happy Mother's Day.
Emma, thank you. Happy Mother's Day. Another first class escort down the red carpet to the VIP. Andrew, thank you for contributing on the show once again. Would you like to say goodbye?
Yes, Uncle Steve, and I too would like to express my condolences.
Thank you.
I
You're
did
very
not
kind.
know your father had passed until you mentioned it during the show, and I know how hard that is. I lost my father. Probably
I
was
wasn't planning on mentioning it, but I did want to mention the thing about the dog, but I just wasn't sure when to talk about it. So
yeah. No, it's all it's a part of life. We all know that. And
yes.
I think somebody was asking about the benefits or not of being religious or not being religious.
The benefits of being an atheist is what
Or,
yeah.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of think too that there's a certain comfort that people find in that belief that there is an afterlife rather than just nothingness. Uh, because we don't remember what was happening before we were born. I mean, yeah, I don't remember after we're born or after we done it. So I think there's a comfort in that, and that may be some reasons that people did. I remember when I was diagnosed with RP, I did not blame God. Um, I blamed genetics because if my mom and dad hadn't met, I wouldn't be here first, and if they hadn't met, I wouldn't get RP because they had to both meet and have children for that gene to be passed on. So I'm a receiver of that gene, as was my sister. We both went blind, 2 out of 4, which is actually a little bit against the odds. It's usually about 1 out of 4 if you're passing on this particular gene. So yeah, I did not blame God, and in many respects, well, obviously, it changed who I am. It changed my life, the direction of my life, the way I thought about things. So sometimes I look at it more often than not as a good thing, because it's given me a certain amount of empathy that I may not have otherwise had. It's provided me an opportunity to be involved with other disabled people, and for that I am forever grateful because I've met a lot of fantastic people in those communities, and still meeting some fantastic people in those communities. So there's always, for every quote unquote evil, there's a good, and you just have to find it within yourself or within others that may be assisting you, and just carry on. So, with that, Uncle Steve, I'd like to again express my condolences, and I'll bid you adieu.
Thank you, and I will comment after I give you another first class escort down the red carpet to the VIP. As Andrew knows, I am also afflicted with RP, retinitis pigmentosa. The most famous person that has RP is Steve Wynn, the billionaire casino magnate. He went completely blind about 15 years ago. RP, retinitis pigmentosa, affects approximately 1 in every 4,000 people. However, of Drew and myself that get RP, 25% go legally blind. I started being affected most
enforcing membership in the guild. And I think it was pretty, like, it was hard to become a member of the guild. Let's just say, for sake of argument, because there's probably many ways to become, but let's say you had to pay them a year's wage to become a member of the guild. And if you were to create jewelry and you weren't a member of the guild, they would come to your house at night and like smash all of your hammers or or smash oh, your forge, the thing you use to melt metal. And the argument is that academia replaces the guild by insisting on regulation. So you can't be a jeweler unless you're regulated you have a license, regulated by the government. And then they provide the classes you need to become a jeweler, regulated, right? They get to charge whatever they want for those classes because you can't be a jeweler unless you take them. And in that,
the same way you get a trade today, like you can't be an electrician unless you've gone to electrician school, basically.
Electricians are part of a guild very often. So the argument is that academia is on the constant hunt for new things that they can monopolize it and make guilds out of. So it doesn't matter what it is. Like the Wright brothers they were high school dropouts. They never went to college. They weren't part of any guild. They made bicycles by the grace of God. And they invented the airplane. And then academia came along and said, whoa, no inventing airplanes. You got to come and take classes first before you can be licensed to invent an airplane. And now,
for if it's going to fly something, you'd want to make sure the dude that built it was qualified.
Well, that's the argument the guild has always made, right? Is that you're going to make something, you want somebody who's good at it to learn.
You got to engineer a plane. There's a bunch of math and science involved in making sure it's designed correctly. Like, sure, you could learn that by apprenticing, I imagine, but it's probably one of those things that you should learn through education. You and I, even though we didn't finish.
Wait. Just to be clear, if you learn it by education, it means you go to a special place, you pay a lot of money, you buy an expensive book, you read the book, and you read the formula, and now you know the formula. Also, you could have gone to the library.
Access that on their own. I'm saying in order to become good at that, you need a teacher or a mentor to steer you in the right direction. Otherwise, it's trial and error. No offense, I don't want an engineer building the plane who's doing it through fucking trial and error. I don't want to get on that fucking thing. I'd like to know it's safe before I set foot in it. And at least for me, that means that an engineer built it.
What's the debate here?
Good morning.
Good morning,
we have two kind of fun debates going on. One is the title of the room, Math is Racist. I just learned this morning a lot of very important research has gone into demonstrating that mathematics is racist.
It's not important.
Now that we know where all the racism is, we can just get rid of math, and I think the world will be less racist. But the second is that academia is like a guild, and it exists to monopolize opportunity and insist that people pay the piper before they have the opportunity. So even though the Wright brothers, well, for you, Mark, I was just wondering how people that you talk to in politics view academia, whether they include it, they view it as an impediment to them doing what people used to be able to do without impediment, or do they view it as a debt creating machine, an opportunity generating machine?
So I would say two things. The first thing is to preface the second thing. You and I don't see academia the same way. Neither of us finished school, from my understanding. And you seem to really doubt academia, where I find a lot of value in it. I find the history professors I had to be some of my best teachers. My sociologist teacher was a card-carrying socialist, and he didn't force his views on other people. And he was a really good teacher. That's the first thing. I just don't see academia in the same way you do. The second piece of this is there are a lot of people I know in campaign politics who've never finished school. But if you want to start out your first job on a large campaign in any sort of managerial role, you got to have a degree. My introduction was into running a small state representative campaign with a buddy of mine. The only reason I was asked to run it as my first job was because he needed somebody else and we weren't going to win. The district was slanted for the current state rep, who's a Democrat, to win. So there are two thoughts. One, you don't necessarily need the college degree to get accustomed to campaign politics and do the job. Secondly, it really does help getting your foot in the door when campaigns look at resumes. They see you've got an education, they see you can do work and follow through. As it's been explained to me, that's what the 4-year piece of paper tells you. I can start a task and I can finish a task and I can do it in a reasonable amount of time. But if you go to school and say study political science,
Nauseous.
you get you study political science, but not the political part, the
My
science part.
beautiful nauseous.
Start making much more familiar with demographics.
Good morning. How are you, beautiful?
Beautiful. Just came back, went to the beach,
Ooh.
had breakfast, met up with for Mother's Day, rode a little bit. It's the ranch right next to the beach.
Mm.
Came back, met up with ex on Mother's Day.
Paradise now.
Oh, he bought me diamonds.
Your boyfriend bought you diamonds?
No, my
Oh.
the daddy of my baby.
Well, I hope you got a diamond tester.
Dude, this is my profession.
Oh yeah, you work in jewelry, you know.
And I think at night, probably gonna go out, BF and my daughter. And now resting.
Mm. You know,
Dog.
my little doggy is my real love of my life.
Doggy is so small, so cute.
So wait, is your ex-husband trying to get back with you or something?
Initially, that was the case, but I got bored. Bro, I would never get back. And
But,
he still loves me all that.
but you just accepted his diamond, what was it, tennis bracelet?
But he's always buying me stuff. No, no. He just bought me a diamond nose ring.
A diamond nose ring?
Stud, sorry, stud.
Diamond nose stud. Well, damn, I mean, that's not a tennis bracelet. That's like one tiny little diamond.
1/3 of a carat is fine.
So I guess you're not getting back, but he wants to get back with you. I mean, you're the mother of his child. Why wouldn't he want to be with you?
I won't get back.
Did you initiate the separation or did he? He initiated the separation? Damn.
Right.
Damn.
It was a momentary lapse of reason. Didn't think about it. Kept using it. Finally, I didn't allow it. I didn't allow the gaslighting. I went in headstrong. He was shocked. I mean, it's really like sick. You don't keep like threatening someone because you're going through a freaking midlife crisis.
Hmm.
I was like, you want this? You got this. I want it. I got it. I want it. I got it.
Well, that's ghetto logic, though.
What do you want me to do? It was constant. If this is the case, then this is gonna be the end. If this is the case, then this is gonna be the end. I think that's fine. You want it? You got it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I go out with like single mothers, who are beautiful women, and they're like happy with their kid, they're happy with their life. They'll say, I just want somebody that, I can spend time with. And I'm like, well, what is that? Like, you want to have sex, with a partner.
Exactly.
So I don't know, I just take it all with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not I don't even want to form a judgment about you, but I kind of do form judgments about women that have kids and ex-husbands because I'm like, was it you? Was it him? Why can't you work it out? You have children. It's so important to be together to raise those children.
Like, don't do this. What's going on? I don't know. I just don't feel fulfilled in my life. It was all about him. Like, bro, you have such a happy life. You have so much wealth, so much happiness. What a beautiful child we made. Why? This is the thing, right? For me, like, that was the thing. You had it all. You wrecked it. Never mind. Old news. Then I got with my BFF of many, many years. And then for a year and a half, we had like a breakup. Then I got back again a few months ago. I've known him for like 20 years now. I love him a lot.
Mm.
Everything ends up exactly how I think it is determined to. I'm a determinist.
Yeah, I mean, relationships are kind of crazy in a way, like because if you have to like maintain it just for it to exist, um, and like so it's like I don't want to have to like manipulate you to have you, like I want because I'm totally happy being by myself. Like if I join with you, that's me taking you on my ship. It's not me joining your ship. Like we could pretend it's that way, but it's not that way because a lot of it just deals with housing, right? I mean,
No, not in this case. What came from? I don't know. I guess privileged backgrounds. And that wasn't even, it wasn't about housing or, you know.
no, I mean I'm talking about me personally, I guess, but like
Yeah.
no, I mean it's just part of the equation now, meaning that like oh my, so crazy. I matched with this girl on Hinge. Like I changed my geolocation to South Beach, Miami. So I meet this incredibly hot Latina chick who has like three kids and she's smoking hot. And every single Instagram clip is her working out, popping her amazing booty. And she never seems to work. She's always taking the kids to the beach, to the pool. She's always doing an event. Like she's just her kids are her life. So then we're friends on Instagram, and then I start seeing what she's posting on Facebook Marketplace. And guess she's involved in some kind of criminal network.
Oh, wow.
She's selling stolen auto parts.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is how this chick makes her money. She sells stolen auto parts that her ex-husband probably, buys or steals. I mean,
Oh, so this is, why do you attract the freaks in your life?
well, it's not like she's a freak. She's just a beautiful mother, but I'm like wondering how does she support herself? And then I see, Facebook Marketplace, she's selling a $450 headlight for a Honda, I'm like, holy shit, that's crazy. Crime pays.
Oh, wow.
So wait, you only have one kid, right? How old are you?
30, 40.
Mm. So you're done. You're not having any more kids.
I guess I can. But
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you'd have to like, it's a whole thing. It's like starting a whole new life. Well, this app it's not, see, when people say this app, it's not this app. The app doesn't actually exist. It's just the people here. That's it. And so what we're not really criticizing the app. we're criticizing the people and how what they talk about, how they spend their time, what their opinions are, and you know, it is what it is. It's like a format though. Like it is like talk radio where you have an obnoxious host who basically prevents you from fully distributing your propaganda. He redistributes his propaganda or her propaganda to supersede your frame. So it's like talk radio where people come on, they get abused, they get kicked off the show. That's why I like recording people because like I'm highly blocked and I'm blocked from certain rooms. And so like my only justice is actually recording what I consider to be bad takes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like how we were reading Shakespeare last night.
I didn't hear it. I was out at the bar last night.
We
Yeah.
went like gone at least.
Really? Oh, that would have been nice.
Theater for 3 years, right?
What, in college?
Was that main like blueprint upon which we build stories.
Mm.
I love the arts. I love culture. I
That
look down upon people who are uncultured.
I don't look down on people. They're they just are not conditioned. They don't have the time. They don't have the environment. Um, no, they would, but they're conditioned and suggested with other art, which is like NFL football and NBA and college basketball.
Empty.
It's just your opinion. It's just your opinion that it's not art.
Mental fine.
But what I think the complaint that's the truth. I think the real complaint is that the economy doesn't make a greater category for artistic living, where instead of military and industrial complex and medical industrial complex, we should at least take like $1 trillion a year and just redistribute that to our people so they can do art projects.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I love that.
Yeah, because art projects are like science experiments, and there's going to be great outcomes. And most people's lives, like, we're all getting cheated all the time. Um, we're being filibustered, and this app is proof that um, topic focus is or the debates like it's like Uncle Steve in his room, the atheist. He says this isn't a show just about atheists. Like you can come up here and talk about whatever you want, but by making it a show about atheism, it forces the focus on a certain topic and category. And the funniest thing is that pro lyrical, he's like, I would call this a category error. And then I'm thinking, wait a minute, you just made a category error by claiming it's a category error. Like it's your category error, not the person's so everything turns into a projection, and that's everything. And that's to me like the biggest takeaway from life is okay, your ad hominem or your filibuster is a projection.
Exactly.
And yeah, I don't people can't see it. They can't see the log in their own eye.
But they're also like, to be honest, like I would never date anyone off of this app because this app is like psycho a little bit. Like if I have to like date someone, I would never do it. I've met up with a few people. This is like years ago.
Hmm.
Cool people. I'm gonna lie. When this app just started off, right at the beginning, and a couple of years into it, very good friendships were made. Blah blah. And yeah, but now would I meet up with anyone, especially like for date purposes? Hell no.
There's just too many. See, it's not a dating app because there's just too many people out in the real world, and then there are dating apps. Um, It's pointless. Like, but people still, I think, do Peacock, and like there is like this sexual component to this app that people, yeah, because there's a lot of guys that just are not talking to women in the real world, and so when they get to talk to you, they're like, "Oh, this is what I want in my life, and here it is on Clown House."
Exactly.
I think this app is really important for like helping people. For me, it's like I love the fact that I can like I went out last night and there's so many people and I could talk to them, but they don't want to necessarily talk to me, you know? Well, just because I'm just another guy, like unless I can demonstrate some type of interesting magic, um otherwise I'm just not interesting. Like I was at a bar once and I was talking to this girl, she didn't seem interested, and then I did a magic trick. And next thing I know, it was like her panties just fell down. I was like a different person now that I demonstrated value. So that's the thing about attraction is if you can demonstrate value, well, now all of a sudden you're a valuable, commodity.
Of the few relationships, and I know a few of them off of this app, most have failed. I wonder why.
Because the relationship was based on clubhouse dynamics. Um, and a real good relationship is like quiet. It's like it's self-contained and it's productive and it's joyful and it's erotic and like it's like if somebody says, "Oh, are you in love with that person?" It's like, well, I'm so physically attracted to this person that I can overlook anything, that this person might throw at me. uh like to me that's actually more love than uh being in a relationship with somebody that you're not attracted to, but you're committed to out of duty or obligation, or commitment, something to that extent. Like the physical attraction to me is actually real love in a relationship that transcends, um, the protocol of the relationship or something. Like if that makes any sense. Like without that really strong chemistry,
Agreed.
it can't be bounded.
People, you start off with people watching you on this app, and then now you're kind of continuing on with that relationship for the people on this app, which are like a handful of people on this app. And so, I don't know if you know, I can't use names, I don't want to dox them. You probably have recorded them too. This was from like 5 years ago. This couple started off pretty passionately. He was a famous, and still is a famous cupcake maker in the US. Like he specializes in cupcakes, and I'm talking about bougie, bougie cupcakes. And she was from Germany. I was much into the spiritual practices of breathe in, breathe out, take a walk by the beach, that kind. And then she had a huge house in Germany, right? One of those magnanimous heirlooms, inherited. She sold that property, freaking vintage. I don't know how old that home was. Probably, from the medieval times. And then both of them, he from the States, she from there, they moved to Italy. Freaking within a few months. And they buy property by the beach in Italy, etc. Freaking the whole thing falls apart. I mean, these were extreme life changes, right? Made off of like two people on an app who hadn't spent time except for like just talking to each other and hosting rooms and things like that. It was so sad. And then I recently know of, of quite a few. One very recent, one with a friend of mine on the side. You know her too, I think. So the whole thing is, I think, a sham. And relationships, particularly,
on Clubhouse have not been successful, just from observation. And I wonder why. Perhaps because talk is cheap.
Mhm. Well, I went out with a chick from here.
Little less conversation, a little more action, please.
Yeah, less conversation, more action. I mean, I dated a chick. I didn't date a chick. I banged a chick from here who gave me like COVID-19 in maybe like June of 2020. And she's a doctor, fully vaxxed up. She probably passed me all of her spike proteins. And like for 3 days, I was curled in a ball, and I was like, that was a mistake. But the sex was at least good enough to endure the 3 days of spike protein metabolic processing. And she was a neurotic. Like, people might think I'm a neurotic, but I know how to shut up, like, and be quiet. Some people want that dopamine talk to talk so bad that they're horribly obnoxious people who can't shut up. And you're like, you think we could get a little peace and quiet around here? Could you like not be annoying for 5 minutes? But I deal well with highly annoying people, and I'm more than happy to facilitate your annoyingness just for the sake of your company. But it's limited, and I have boundaries and duration limits that ultimately, I will separate, and you can go on your way. And I know what to expect. I know people out there that are so obnoxious, so self-centered, so narcissistic, and it's hard to even detect. It's hard to know that you're actually being manipulated by AKA a friend. Um, you know, and the truth is like friends I like to say friends for life, but a lot of my friends aren't actually friends. They were in a way using me uh because of the novelty or the dopamine that I bring with me, and the intelligence I bring with me, the sophistication, and the ability to also attract, beautiful people to the situation. And I don't know, some people are just like dead weight, you know? You realize like, okay, I need you just for your company, but you're also dead weight. Like you're not contributing to this equation anymore. I keep thinking, like, I keep looking at puppies, and I'm like, oh, I would love to have a dog, but then I would, but the problem is, it's like when I get up, you know, there's A through Z things to do, and it's like, you know what, I don't want to add one more variable
Yeah,
because
she was. I got manipulated into it. This is the only thing I wanted my whole life. The only thing amongst the very many only things.
I also like a lot of like liberal girls, like they'll say on their profile, I am hardcore liberal. Here's my number, call me. And it's like, okay, well, but the amazing thing is, because of Clown House, like I've fully expressed and observed what I think is like all political content. And so when I meet somebody from a dating app and they say, okay, just tell me about your politics. And I'll say, I believe in equity and economics. And then they'll say, well, that doesn't say anything. And I'll say, okay, well, do you want to have like a 2 hour political debate or something? Like, do you want me to fully explain, like, how much information do you want from me? And are you going to give me any information from you? See, it's women are just so ridiculous. They're literally like parasites living, and my dad would be very upset if he heard me saying this, but like many women are just parasitic consumers living day to day, and they don't really care about you. They want what they can get from you in the moment, and they want to maximize it. Like one girl, I told this girl, I was like, yeah, I'll take you to dinner and give you a gift. She's like, okay, just send me a Venmo right now, prove to me your love. And it's like, no, I don't do Venmo. She's like, give me a check then at dinner. I'm like, it's so crazy that girls will go around and do that kind of shit. Um, it's like filtering them out. It's like, okay, you're looking for some rich 56-year-old sugar daddy who's gonna literally write you a check, and you might not even blow him. You might not even F him, but you might. And you're like a 24-year-old flight attendant who's actually a prostitute on the side. It's wild. It's society now today is more complicated than ever before because women are fully liberated sexually, content-wise, financially. Like women, women are women will never like really settle down with a man because their psychology today is it's just not wired for that. It's been uprooted.
Absolutely. It's like we don't need you now. We want you now.
Yeah, women choose. Men, men don't choose. Men cock. I don't like that though. Regal, welcome to the Ayn Rand Bookhouse.
Shit sounds like fucking cope.
We don't need you. We got everything.
Yeah, you do. You need us to fucking fix your plumbing, put electrical in your fucking house.
It's a fun holiday, darling.
Your house.
That's
Work
not
on all the
the plumber is a phone call away. The freak
just like just something you
is a phone call away.
Yeah, the cops are a phone call away, and that's a man too that you fucking need.
Why do we need cops?
Because you need them to protect you from the men that are fucking retarded.
What?
You know, you need them to protect you.
I'm sorry, what class of society are you talking about?
I'm talking about the United States. That's where I'm from.
So am I. But what class of society are you talking about?
What class of society are you talking about?
Who needs cops in a gated community?
Who needs cops in a gated community? I don't know. Does the gated community have security officers that have gun on their hips that are like licensed to fucking use them? So they're kind of like their own police.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So like you're a dipshit that doesn't know what the fuck enforcement is.
Bro, we don't need you anymore, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, the fuck you do. And you guys are coping over it.
So I like the term cope. In
Can you tell him?
Well, no, I think his criticism is useful because when I think of the word cope, in many ways I cope, and the truth is like even talking about this topic is coping. And it's like it's not useful. It doesn't see the thing about leadership is leadership doesn't talk about what you're going to do. It does it. It's the doing and the action. It's not the talk. It's not the cope. Like this is cuckery. This is cuckery, coping. And it is what it is. I mean, but again, I think it's a fun conversation to criticize modern women, but it is definitely coping.
It is. Also, like, Regal is a good Christian boy who believes in patriarchy. So, yeah, babe.
Well, you have to appeal to the benevolent patriarchy in order to enforce your rights as a woman.
See, John, look, hear this. See what he said.
Wait, what was that again?
Not like that anymore. The world has changed. What age are you living in? 2,000 years ago.
Touch with the middle class or poor people, but it backs the people that you stand on in order to live in your gated community and have the life that you have.
I am low middle class compared to FU money, okay?
No one cares about your fucking money.
It's FU money that we don't have. But most of America, I think, is kind of doesn't need men. Women don't need men to protect them anymore. We have police officers.
Put guns on their hips for like all the
We have police officers. We have police officers who are women. Men.
That's men.
No.
Yeah.
We have women police officers too.
Yeah, they don't join the police force in abundance because they're not interested in that work. So you have to appeal to the outlier, right? The outlier in the scenario instead of the average. You're appealing to the outlier, not the average.
Bro, any feminist in the room but find you like loads. I'm not even kidding you.
And he noticed what?
In the room would find you loathsome. Like,
So? I don't date those types of women anyway. I hear how like John's always dating these types of women, and he's like, he sees them for what they are, and he just doesn't have the balls to say anything about it. He just enjoys his time and goes about his business. I don't act like that though.
This
You know what I mean?
this girl just texted me, John, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a sugar baby by chance? Or tell me what you're interested in. Then she sent me a photo and she's like hideous. And I'm like, well, I could entertain a sugar baby conversation with a hot chick, but if you're fat and ugly, like, sorry, but you've immediately gone to the archive folder. Zabu's like, you're so cruel. But, time is limited. Regal is accurately calling out the cope. Um, you know, anyways, it is a beautiful day outside. I have my garden being hydrated and watered. The flowers are pushing through. I just potted like 15 more pots yesterday. And guess what those fucking squirrels did? They turned over my shit and ate the fucking flower seeds. Those little bastards. So I have to change the position. I have to Squirrels are so smart. I mean, they're just unbelievable creatures. They're like monkey rats of a high degree, and I love squirrels. I love bunnies, and I love shooting squirrels or hitting them. Well, I have a small business. It's controversial. It's called Squirrel Hunter Incorporated. And I have a slingshot with plastic pellets. They're not metal ball bearings to kill the poor squirrels, but when a plastic pellet flies past your face at 300 miles per hour, the squirrels are kind of like nervous. They're like, "What the fuck was that?" And then they see me in the distance with a big shit-eating grin on my face with a slingshot, and they run like fucking hell. And then sometimes they don't even run. Sometimes they just strut away. Like, I'm better than that. Don't you dare fuck with me. And they just strut away. And then another fucking ball comes flying past their face at 300 miles per hour. And then that's when they're like, oh fuck, I gotta get the fuck out of here. That's called Squirrel Hunter Incorporated.
not. You are not.
Actually a subdivision of a former company I had called Rat Hunter Incorporated, where you could actually go on like rat hunting safaris in Chicago with a pellet gun. And man, when you shoot a rat with a pellet gun, those fuckers can jump like 6 feet in the air and they can scream. They go, "Ah," it's crazy.
Dude, I think the true story is your neighbors are probably watching you run out of the house with a fucking broom, fucking bat, and chasing them off your fucking lawn.
I just wonder what the people in the cars are thinking when they see me standing on my balcony with a slingshot shooting balls off my balcony. Okay, well, I'm gonna quickly read to you one page of Ayn Rand. Are you ready? Because I think that
Absolutely.
I th-
Love your brand recipes.
RIP. I think that all books are magic, and what people don't realize is that Ayn Rand is actually a magician, and her book is actually a magic book. Hello? Controversial statement? Is that a controversial statement? Okay, this is the virtue of rationality. The virtue of rationality means the recognition and acceptance of reason as one's only source of knowledge, one's only judge of values, and one's only guide to action. It means one's total commitment to a state of full, conscious awareness, to the maintenance of a full mental focus in all issues, in all choices, in all of one's waking hours and talking on Clubhouse. It means a commitment to the fullest perception of reality within one's power and to the constant, active expansion of one's perception, i.e., of one's knowledge. It means a commitment to the reality of one's own existence, i.e., the principle that all of one's goals, values, and actions take place in reality, and therefore that one must never place any value or consideration whatsoever above one's perception of reality. It means a commitment to the principle that all of one's convictions, values, goals, desires, and actions must be based on, derived from, chosen, and validated by a process of thought. As precise and scrupulous a process of thought, directed by as ruthlessly strict an application of logic as one's fullest capacity permits. It means one's acceptance of the responsibility of forming one's own judgments and of living by the work of one's own mind, which is the virtue of independence. It means that one must never sacrifice one's convictions to the opinions or wishes of others, which is the virtue of integrity. That one must never attempt to fake reality in any manner, which is the virtue of honesty. That one must never seek or grant the unearned and undeserved. Wow, the DEI social equity justice warriors would hate this. Neither in matter nor in spirit, which is the virtue of justice. It means that one must never desire effects without causes. You see how valuable this is in terms of like contradicting the left? And that one must never enact a cause without assuming full responsibility for its effects. That one must never act like a zombie without knowing one's own purposes and motives. That one must never make any decisions from any convictions or seek any values out of context, apart from or against the total, integrated sum of one's knowledge. And above all, that one must never seek to get away with contradictions. It means the rejection of any form of mysticism. Any claim to some non-sensory, non-rational, non-definable, supernatural source of knowledge. It means a commitment to reason, not in sporadic fits or on selected issues or in special emergencies, but as a permanent way of life. It means the rejection of any form of mysticism. So, Ayn Rand rejects mysticism and believes in rationality. No, she
Yes,
just said it.
but if you keep reading, like
Mhm.
you figure out, it's mysticism that is woo woo. There is something called rationalist mysticism,
Mm.
and rationally come to the conclusion of mysticism. This is one of the hardest things to do, but it is for
You cut off there at the end. What did you say, Narjas?
say that again.
Can you say it again about the rational mysticism?
Rationality is her foundational stepping stone, right, on which all is. Rationality is that which doesn't violate laws of logic, and that which at all times maintains coherency, right? So when when what you're thinking, saying, feeling, and doing, yeah, are in contradiction to each other, that kind of mysticism, right, is a false mysticism. But then there's a true mysticism that is rational in nature. What I feel, do, say, and focus on, right, aligned with whatever source, whatever the heck you want to call it, or true to myself, that would be rational mysticism, where nothing like see, she's very particular about contradictions. Contradictions are truly like that's hell. True hell is a contradiction. True hell is irrationality. It doesn't allow for pattern recognitions. It doesn't allow for being aligned with reality. And I've said this quite a few times, like when a theist says that, the God of religion is an anthropomorphic God. The God of religion is, I don't know, like a super me, perhaps, right? This is where you're not aligning yourself with the reality of things because we'd like to imagine that. And this woo is what she's calling out. But all God is a set of all existence, is that biggest set, that biggest grounding of all there is. to which we turn to in awe and in glory, right? Because it is its existence itself. That is rational mysticism.
Okay. See, I used to come on this app and try to disengage people, meaning like I would just say, okay, let's take the deepest breath of the day, hold it for 10 seconds. Meaning there's no reason to actually like engage in the conversations and debates that are happening here. It's all like this focused category error. Uh, it's just like I prefer the audiobook information distribution to like this broken, uh, incomplete position that people present here. And it's pathetic. Like people here are pathetic, and I really like mocking them and making sure they know that I think they're pathetic, and I've confirmed that they're pathetic. It could be a me problem, and I'm slowly moving away from all criticism and just getting into documentary, filmmaking, and just letting the audience decide without my interjection. I think that's the best way to do it. But I could also have, some people enjoy my criticism. And I've gotten compliments, and people say, I went back and I watched your Instagram of me talking to all these people, and I really enjoyed your feedback and your commentary about how ridiculous it is. And I say, thank you. I appreciate you for appreciating me. And, I called my mom yesterday on Mother's Day. That was part one. I told her I'd call her again today and we'd film part two. And she said, I love that for you. And I said, I love that you love that for me. And then she said, I love that you love that I love that for you. And I said, I love that you love that I love that you love that for me. And I love that you love that for me. I was like, it was funny. And she got it. Because my mom is a chronic one upper. And, she realized what I was doing there. I was trying to show her that, she's addicted to like one upping you uh in conversation. And there's other people on this app like that. Like, "Oh, well, I got this and I did that, and it's better than what you get."
This is so cute. A cute relationship.
I think it's fun. You know, people liked it yesterday. People enjoyed my little 50-minute conversation with my mom.
What, you put it on a freaking, you just put it on?
I mean, it was on Clubhouse and on YouTube Live.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she knows that, like, when she calls me, I'm recording, but we never actually discuss it, you know. Because my mom has a flip phone. She doesn't actually even have a smartphone. She doesn't waste her time with all this internet reality. But I would suggest that the internet reality is the dominant form of communication. Therefore, it's so close to being reality that it's the only effective way to manipulate reality. Because all this political communication that gets pushed throughout Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and other platforms, that is the marketing content to try to influence people to vote for their leaders who are essentially doing all the handouts. Um, because we're so broke, there shouldn't be any handouts. There should only be debt service repayment. And a lot of politicians during the election cycle, they just post now pictures and videos saying, hey, I just brought in 1.3 million for this bridge, 1.3 million for this facility that does this type of healthcare. And it's like, okay, so Speaker Johnson gave you $10 million to divvy up across your district, and now you get to create content about where you're giving the money out. It must be nice. But the country's totally, and that's like the reward for the congressperson or senator to create that content and say, hey, I fought so hard to get this money for you. But really, the party loyalty is what's facilitating and funding that. And then they use it for their own marketing purposes. Oh,
Judgmental religious people on the South.
yeah, they're extremely toxic and highly obnoxious. You know that one guy? He's like, I believe he's African, I think Coptic or whatever. He has a thick voice. Oh, you're the Antichrist. Oh, normal, you're the Antichrist. You're the Antichrist. Like that guy is so fucking annoying. I would like to flog him, and as he's like screaming, like, "Why are you beating me? Why are you beating me? You're the Antichrist. How dare you? How dare you beat me?" I don't like he would be like he, well, I can't imagine flogging a highly annoying person and then like enjoying their torment because of like the torment that I've experienced listening to them.
Oh yeah. So yesterday, one of my friends, Benny, right? Like he's getting Benny Adam. He's getting interested in like Gnosticism,
Mhm.
right? And it's a pretty nice worldview, I think. It's a beautiful way of like looking at the world. It's got like a perennial oneness sort of message to it, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful until you decide to go on a crusade.
Unless you decide to go on a crusade. And but it doesn't allow for it within its worldview. So yesterday he was just positing his worldview, and then people I know and freaking who I didn't ever think would react to his position like that started freaking in in some form attack him, like in just because he had developed a worldview that doesn't look like the majority Christian position, whatever the heck that is. And I was just shocked. Like these are people I hang out with on the daily, every now and then on this app, right? Like, or at least use it in the background while I'm doing other things. And bloody, I was just didn't expect it, and I felt like, oh my God, is this how closed you are to anyone who experiences a change in their worldview? By the way, a change that is also positive, in my opinion. Just because it doesn't look like your God or look like your views, like Andrew. If you don't believe in Andrew's God, you're an atheist, basically. That's what he's saying. And I called him out yesterday.
It's funny is actually like the hardcore Christians because well the not I think the obnoxious part about the hardcore Christians is that they're still basically Democrats, and so the atheists to me are the more annoying ones because they're actually elite intellectual homosexual liberals. That's really what they are is and I listened very closely yesterday in Politically Correct. Whenever a liberal elite Democrat gets cornered, guess what their bite back in response is? Oh, so you don't believe in black men, black women, and gay black men, gay black women? Like it's the same thing over and over. It's their position always rests on the indignity, not the dignity, the indignity of a black woman, a black man, and especially if you're gay. And to me, that's pseudo intellectualism. So they are false prophets. They are fake intellectuals, and they themselves are elite homosexual liberal Democrats. And they're pseudo intellectuals because the basis of your political position cannot be the disenfranchisement of black men and black women who are gay. And and so they position everything, no matter what your position is, against that backdrop. And that is so fucking disingenuous and so propaganda. It's such propaganda. And they're ruthless. And they know what they're doing. Consciously, they know that they are essentially doing filibustering on the backs of gay black men and gay black women, and it's pathetic. And actually it's really just their own projection because they are closeted homosexual intellectuals who are married and have children, and they could never admit that they're bisexual and that they are extremely predatorial. So those are my observations. I think they're accurate, and that's why I film. I am in my documentary filmmaking here on Clubhouse. I'm actually like in the jungle recording chimpanzees interact with each other, and it turns out that we as monkeys are so good at trying to subvert, hypnotize, and manipulate each other. It truly is the economy. It's really how everything is happening. And when AOC gets on stage and say nobody can make $1 billion, that's impossible. Well, that's because she's propagandizing eat the rich. And she herself is rich. She's very rich. She's worth like 40 million or plus. A fucking bartender, congresswoman who's unstoppable, and people eat it up because she's so goddamn sexy. You know, if AOC was an overweight, obese, disgusting pig, no one would listen to her. No one. No one would want to look at her. So
Yeah.
the physical beauty is the first step at magnetizing and hypnotizing, and that's what she does. She is a ruthless propaganda, and in fact, she's nothing but a CIA agent. She is a CIA agent or associated with CIA agents. So she doesn't her background and her actual pedigree, it's not exposed, it's not discussed. I mean, it's crazy that we don't think that Congress people and senators aren't like fully integrated with the CIA. And if you think the CIA should be shut down and defunded, you have no idea how many people are involved with the CIA and their activities. So, I mean, I'm happy to exist because so many people hate my existence. You know, that's what really makes me happy when people say, "Oh, you don't know who John Kitover is? Block this guy, kick him quick. Get him the fuck out of here." That's when I know like I'm being successful. Um, because everything has to do with apartheid, indigenous rights, neo-settler colonialism, structural white racism, and all a whole list. There's a top 10 list of complaints. And philosophy is the um is the compression of all those complaints, but when you compress all the complaints, they're not there anymore. But these people decompress the now into their history hypnosis complaint session, and it's because they're trying to essentially uh demor because they themselves are highly demoralized. See, victory and strength, you know, the correlation between strength and joy is real. And I was talking to my mom about this yesterday. If you have great joy, that's because you have great strength. When your strength is diminished and goes down, your joy goes down. It really does.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
A lot of it is perception and lack of action. Because when you actually take action, you realize that you're not really doing anything for the most part unless you're actually pushing back uh, and putting good content out there. Oh, force is like a combination of action um and like newness, you know, because the new frame reframes the old frames, and every day new frames are being put on yesterday's frames of the previous frame. So, you know, like that guy Brian in here, he tried to raise his hand earlier, and it's like, I don't want to bring him up because he's one of those chronic one-uppers. And you know, last time I talked to him, he said he's gonna kill me. And welcome to your new life, bitch. You know, I know where you live. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to be friends with you anymore because, you know, I know you have mental problems and I'm okay with that. But like when you make death threats against me, and you don't issue an apology or say, hey, you know, like I'd like to, you know, make amends. So I just ignore and I don't entertain and I move on with my life in joy and strength. You know, I'm not gonna entertain people who get wicked drunk and then make death threats on a social audio chat app. That's ridiculous. So I'm happy not having former friends in my life who I view as being obnoxiously toxic.
What we reading like Leslie together with him? I remember he actually did read Pan Pan I Pan.
Who, Bry?
Was it wrong?
It wasn't Brian. Brian is extremely resistant to reading anything
But why?
because he just wants to talk. He's a talkaholic. He just wants dopamine from talking. He doesn't want to have any type of like plan or goal or outcome or alternative content. It's just he just wants to talk about whatever the fuck there is to talk about. He's yeah.
your earphones. I got your iPod. Sorry. Sorry.
Do you know who Osho is?
Yes, I've been to his ashram. I lived there for 3 months.
I love like just how wild. I love like his outfits. Like he looks like he looks like a space traveler, like an
So, in that heat of Pune, so I studied the structures because my thesis in architecture was spiritual buildings, right? And uh, his ashram is made of black pyramids, right? And at one third the height of those pyramids that they built, you can actually he's raised the central platform, right, on which he would sit. Something about like how at one third the height of the pyramid energy is like probably like highest, and things, they've done some experiments like by putting apples and oranges and stuff, by making these models that are pyramids, and at that height you see that no rotting happens, and I don't know, energies are different and stuff like that. Bro, Osho, like, first of all, he believed in like orgies and stuff, right? So yeah, it's an experience. You have to go and see it. Then they have a spring festival that I went for, and you can basically dance any kind of style. I think a lot of it is drugs. I'm not gonna lie. Then- but you could like tour there. Then there's like every week he dedicates it to one kind of ritual practice, right? Like the whirling dervish would be one of them, and he gives you, they would give you like robes and stuff that you could wear or not. So he's all about the essence of everything being love, and he's also like was used to be highly hedonistic in a way that he sort of spiritualized hedonism. But you should know that love is everything. That's social for you.
Yeah. I love these YouTube clips that come up with him. Listen to this one.
Shows a significant fact that perhaps our love is searching for something else, and because we don't find it in our so called lovers, the frustration arises. Nobody is responsible, just our direction is wrong. The real lover is within you.
See
So
that?
it
This is the thing about these relationships. It's like if you know that the if your real lover is you within you, um you take your relationships with a much more like professional approach as opposed to like this, childish love attraction, dopamine orgasm game of oxytocin. And that's why philosophy sets us free from like these carnal monkey mind activities that so many people engage in. And that's why so many people have so much suffering and why they have all these burdens now. I don't know, maybe I'm just coping. Maybe I'm just coping.
is within you. Once you have found it, you are absolutely content.
Content. Content with yourself. Okay, Bri, welcome to the show. Last time I talked to you, you said you were going to kill me and that um and you said welcome to your new fucking reality. And
Thank God before I kill you.
oh, well, you can't sink the Lady Hawk because the Lady Hawk is unsinkable because it's no longer in my possession.
Okay.
Can't sink a ship that won't float.
can't believe you bought that thing. At least you got laid a couple times.
Yeah, I know, but when you calculate out how much per lay, I might as well just have accumulated some sugar babies and paid the bill.
I love me a good hooker.
All right, well, this is the Ayn Rand book club where we're going to read another page from Ayn Rand.
Jewish woman that wrote, like, Atlas Struggles.
That's it.
Yes. Atlas does struggle.
What? Who the fuck is John Gall?
Who is John Gall? I am John Gall, baby. I am.
Dude, I might be. I mean, I read a couple books.
I'm so proud of you, Brian, for reading Ayn Rand, or at least knowing of her.
Dude, I did Atlas Struggles. Like 3 of her books, I think.
My gosh, look at my.
I think it was Atlas Struggles. Atlas.
Maybe.
Dude, yeah. They, they ended up with the community that they were meant to be with. And the funny thing is, like, in modern day, like, they're talking about like all these scientists that are being just like they're like like vanishing. I think that that's Atlas Shrugged. These are the scientists that we. I think this is like DARPA, like being ahead of AI.
Yeah.
Like seriously. I'm just trying to figure out. Apologize. But yeah, no. Dude, who is John Gall? What do we want from our future? We have to compete with AI as human beings. And dude, I was programming in 1986 when I was like 11 years old. I could type 60 words a minute correctly, and I would program pretty damn proficiently in BASIC with logic. But now we're in a whole different realm. Like, and these computers are faster than I could have ever thought. How do you compete against them? I mean, I get it that I can do it abstract, but logically, you can't compete. What do you want from your future for your kids? What do you think 2050 is going to look like for your kids? I mean, maybe in the background. What do you think? Like 25 years from now is going to look like? Well, 25 years ago for me was 1995, and everything from 95 to here is crazy as the front door. But you're talking about like what you're trying to give with AI and computers and all the distractions and devices to your kids, and another 25 years from here to then. Good fucking luck. I'm being dead the front door serious. Dude, I'm about to take my fucking wristwatch off and blow my whistle. My boondoggle whistle. These kids are not gonna know how to fucking take care of themselves. None of them are gonna know how to do it. None of them will know how to start a fire. None of them will know how to volunteer and like be in the woods.
If there are, it'll be the exception of the children. It won't be the rule. What do you think? John? Guess you don't want to talk about it, John? What? You want some vittles?
Hello?
Hello?
Sorry, I just repositioned my sprinkler.
I'm about to feed my dogs. And listen to the birds chirp in the background.
Identifies gay black.
Um, because I'm not beholden to any type of strict rules or format here in this matrix known as the internet.
Connect with your friends.
No, not necessarily. I want to like push through to what, I'm trying to achieve, regardless of what people and friends I happen to, you know, that happen to flow by.
What is the thing that you achieve? I mean, I know your mom is gorgeous, and like I know your dad. I know like the things you've done. And dude, I would love to see you be the mayor of Chicago. That'd be the funniest shit ever. But
Well, it's not going to happen, but the whole thing is it's like uh being able to communicate, ideas, but really the AI analysis of like uncovering fraud, like I found this hospital that's billing Medicaid 130 million a year. 130 million for illegal aliens. It's so illegal.
bro, like you wanna know the sad part to me is like if you look at 2025, we spent $3 billion on homeless veterans. We spent $9 billion on illegal immigrants. Like, how are you spending 3 times the amount for illegal people versus the people that actually literally went to like war country?
Well, I know how to answer that question.
Please tell them.
Well, I went to this dinner party with like a very successful gentleman, and all these military officers were there. One of the guys is actually in charge of like the Pacific Fleet. Like he was the admiral of like the Pacific Fleet or something. And he was an African American, and just incredible presence, military presence. And somebody asked him, are you gonna run for politics when you get out? And he started laughing. He's like, absolutely not. And they're like, why not? Yeah.
Like, how would it be the president had he run?
Yeah.
I would have voted for him.
I think it's just a question of, do you want to experience it? Even if you know you can win, do you want to experience that? And I think the answer is no.
No, you know what kind of sacrifice it takes to do that job? Like, seriously. Like, I mean, like, believe 100% sincere. You know what that job is.
Yeah, you can see it on people's appearances.
Dude, like every president that goes, when they come out, they look fucking old, right? Like, you know, they're put through the ringer. You know, I don't know what of them they got like, you know, safe.
Yeah, a lot of the guys that I trained with at the Citadel, they didn't make it back, or they made it back, but they were, forever permanently damaged. And
Yes.
yeah, it's very sad, because you would imagine that there would be political and military alignment of priorities, but there's just not. And so, I mean, in many ways, I'm like a fascist, that I believe we should actually be a military society completely. And that,
Libertarian when it comes to certain things.
yeah, and it's so disappointing. I think that's actually why a lot of veterans become hopeless and have despair and ultimately, commit the S word, because
You're right. Yes, I agree.
yeah, it's like you feel like you've been duped, and that the whole sacrifice.
Uh,
Well, meaning that, like, if it was real, well, then it would have been real here too in America. It wouldn't have just been real for that exercise.
I didn't feel real. I felt like, you know, everybody kept saying thank you for your service, but honestly, I didn't know what my service was for.
Yeah, I like to, when people say thank you for your service, I say, please never thank me ever again. Take it back. And then I want you to thank all the dead people who were obliterated, and you can look at their pictures on a poster. Don't thank me, because when you thank me, what you're really doing is thanking yourself. Don't project your thanks onto me when you shouldn't even be thanking me, because look at me. It's like you're trying to downgrade me by saying thank you. No, just don't thank me. Never ever thank me, because I'm here breathing, talking to you. And so, what did I sacrifice to talk to you right now? Nothing. The people that are dead are the ones who gave all, so that you and I could sit here and I could complain about you thanking me. And then they say, "Oh, well, I'm sorry I ever even thanked you." And I say, "Exactly."
And like, I held them when they died.
Yeah,
I know what it's really about, John. Like, seriously.
yeah.
Like, you know, I know what the sacrifice really is. And, like, I don't think most people understand the level of sacrifice that it takes to secure our freedom of speech.
Well, see, protecting freedom of speech versus actually knowing what speech should be protected is really the conundrum, because most people have never actually experimented with radical speech that could get you in trouble. So So that's the thing. It's like, let's not talk about protecting it when we haven't even identified what's so controversial to be protected. People are so fucking stupid and political. They're horribly hypocritical. And I'm glad that I exist to essentially document what I would call the elite liberal Democrat, and especially the gay elite black liberal Democrat. What makes you a Democrat? Is it like the history of Democrats in your area?
Selective service, they asked me what I was.
Mhm,
I was in '93. I was 18, and like Clinton was the president, and I had been reading books in like civics and stuff,
mhm,
and it was liberalism from the '70s.
mhm.
So but a 93 Democrat is not a 26 Democrat. You know what I mean? I didn't leave the party left me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You know, and I don't know if I'm like moderate or progressive or any of it. I mean, I like the fire station. I like the post office. I like, feeding kids before they go to school, and so they're not hungry when they're in class. Like, these are socialist programs that I do care for, but that doesn't make me a communist. You know what I mean?
Well, what does austerity mean to you, and how long would you expect the people to sacrifice uh, their well-being in order to right the ship? Because if a lot of people claim they're capitalists, but our system is actually socialist, it's not capitalist because we print 7 trillion. Okay.
Society with a capitalist society, but you could never have a capitalist society within a socialist society. So I disagree with you.
Mm. Well, then the thing is, I've had so many conversations that ultimately I go back to what is economic theory and economic philosophy. Our primary goal efficiency and overall utility and equity? Are we trying to optimize? And do we believe that deficit spending is optimization? And if we didn't do deficit spending and we paid down the debt and we optimized our spend, wouldn't that be the better long-term solution as opposed to these short-term fixes? Why not?
Like, the reason within capitalism that we do, if you make a boondoggle, I make a boondoggle, necessity is the mother of invention, and like we know how to figure out how to fix a problem that like everybody got, that makes us came to the forefront first, and we can back that. Like, we made our boondoggle our thing that made us important within society. And like, if you took that away from society, like, why would you ever make a boondoggle if nobody ever gets to own anything? What I mean, like, you're not gonna get anything if you made the boondoggle, made millions, and you get none of it. Why would you invent the boondoggle, bro? I grew up in a very fucking militant family. I'm sorry. Does any of that mean anything to you, dude? Or are you just gonna sit over there and like, try to get a beer and put an orange in it? Damn, son.
Brian, Brian, what I'm saying is like if we were to run an equation, a model, a simulation on, future alternative realities based off of economic philosophy and theory, that it's my opinion that, if we but what it's my opinion that the equations and models we're using right now uh are inefficient, self-destructive, and unfair completely and entirely.
What are you referring to?
The 7 trillion that we spend every year.
I think it's like when I got in 2010, our national deficit was $12 trillion,
Yeah.
right? From like it took us 200 change years,
Yep.
like make 12 trillion as a deficit, right?
Hmm.
Why is it from 2012 to now, which is like 14 years? Did we go from 12 to 36? You know,
I know that people are saying that we.
in like less than 2 decades, when it took us 2 centuries to get to 12.
So the thing is that money was created and distributed, and it's still out there. A lot of it though is now outside of the U.S. Is outside of U.S. control in offshore banking, and so if we wanted to claw back some of the trillions, well, it's out there. It's sitting in people's bank accounts, and we could claw it back if we had the will to do it. I mean, I think you're right about the boondoggle theory. But I am, as you know, as a self opportunist or a self promoter. Do you know who Benjamin is on this app? He has a room open right now called "Math is Racist."
How is logic racist?
Because in an inverted. Well, they can make see, this is the thing about making arguments for things that don't exist. Like, as the participant in their experiment, your observation, your quantum observation is what gives their ridiculous sentiment any credibility. It's like, were you in, no, I don't know if you were. Anyways, a flat earther came into Steve's room today and he's like, we are ready to debate you at any time, anywhere, any place, and we've got the receipts. And it's like, and you just kind of feel bad for some people how that's their area of focus, which is just fantastical thinking.
Like, like if you could from Antarctica and always turn left and like go around Antarctica, and like you have people that say there's an ice shelf on the flat Earth.
Hmm.
How can you turn left when everything makes you turn right on the flat Earth style? Like there's an ice shelf that goes all the way around. Like you'd have to turn right the whole time when you're talking about circumnavigating left. Like if you can't counterclockwise your ice shelf, you'd be on a flat. But we can. How many times? It's been done like 150 times. I think very first.
I mean, isn't it just basic geometry? Like, the space between point A to point B is a straight line, and
Side angle, side angle.
how can you just not use your mind's eye though and visualize? How do you just like not visualize it in your mind's eye? Like, how can you think that if I want to go from point A to point B and there's not curvature to that line, like, how do you not see that in your mind's eye? I just don't understand how people can't see that from just a plane perspective, flying a plane. Like, there's curvature to that movement. What the fuck is wrong with people?
What do we understand? The point being is like, why does that deny the comprehension of truth?
Yeah. I think that's their content though, but the irony, and this is why I think mocking people is fun, important, maybe a waste of time, but there's just so many people worthy of mockery, and it's almost like they have a language comprehension and a language deficiency. That's really what's happening. I think yeah, I think they actually don't have the words to describe the concept that they're. Well, that's why I say it's not. Flat earthers are actually a philosophy. It's not some kind of mathematical or geographic science or something like that. It's what they're really trying to express as a philosophy. Um, but they don't have the words to really describe what they're thinking or feeling. That's what I've told them before.
When I'm telling you, worry about Sheena, not even fucking kidding, bro.
We don't need to worry about them.
No, we.
Oh, why do you say that?
Because I serve with a bunch of them are fucking whack tards.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But
No.
fucking,
Is that projection or accurate diagnosis?
I'd rather kill them than be able to deal with them.
Mm.
But bro, these shit fuckers. Like, you understand what they're trying to do with Shia law?
Mm-mm.
Like, I mean, like, they're trying to enact Sharia law.
Hmm.
You understand what I mean?
I understand the sentence.
Bro, I mean, but do you understand what that means to, like, the First Amendment?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, we have to know what controversial statements we can and can't say based on First Amendment, because everybody is always so concerned about First Amendment, but we've no one here on this app actually identifies what are the controversial concepts and statements that you can't make because they'll gaslight somebody.
Agreed.
But see, it only goes one way, because if you're appalled by abortion, if abortion is appalling to you and you think it's murder, well, then everything that people say in defense of it is really offensive to you. So we live in this double standard, hypocritical environment.
Like, John, if you were literally, like, pro-choice and I was pro-life, like, it wouldn't, like, deter me from talking to you.
No, I get that.
Make that, like, like, oh, we're so different, and they would no longer talk. You and I can have.
No, I think people that can express their opposite views peacefully is where the best outcome comes about, you know. But the problem with the left is that it's not like that for them. They literally say on these stages, I feel like uh, we shouldn't be having this debate, and that we should control the communication and content. That's what they say, because they feel that it's dangerous.
Thing was, I feel.
That's what they say, and they say it's too dangerous to have conversations and debates about this because they can't let their position or propaganda be compromised.
Shit. I don't want to talk about is objective. You don't want to talk about the objective reality. Fuck your feelings.
So subject, object, object, subject. They say that the synthesis happens when the subject and the object, mix, and like that's the secret synthesis.
Understand reality. Subjective. Once you figure out reality, how you feel about the reality.
Yeah.
Reality more important than mine. I'll tell you to go fuck yourself.
Hmm. That's the way it goes. No, I think you're at 100% accurate. The problem is that in the world of like green beans and control, and then the push down of content from media corporations, we're just living in a highly programmed communication that's literally pushed down top to bottom communication. Oh, we got Mountain, the man. Mountain is here. Mountain, yes. Mountain was just in the math is racist room.
Math I'm not an idiot. Fuck you. You're an idiot, bro. No, I said math. But
We've been talking about various topics, but yesterday Mountain and I had a lengthy conversation, and at the end of the conversation, guess what I told him?
yeah, I want back. No, he doesn't get it. So I literally have tried to explain to him the reason why I troll, the reason why I don't get too serious in this app is because I feel like it's not healthy and I don't have the self control to stay away from it. So I try to not be part of a club. I try to get myself banned occasionally so I'm not part of the table. And then fucking but then John goes, if you don't behave yourself, you're not going to be part of the conversation. You're going to be part of the table. Like, that's the point, bro. That's the point. Because Clubhouse. Like, I've known John since 21 when my mom was still alive on Instagram. Like, the only reason I'm on Clubhouse is because of that. Like, you want to talk some shit. Don't start no shit. It won't be no shit.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. See, Mountain likes boats. Mountain is a boat builder. I was just making a joke saying that, like, I told you about the time I fired this African American kid from yeah, and he's like, "Why the fuck you want to fire?" So it's like, I see you're just too much of a liability to bring back on the facility because you can't behave yourself because you think that it's unhealthy, and so then you make it more unhealthy by trolling just to get kicked to preserve your time. Like that is madness. That's not what you're looking for. You're actually like you're just going about it the wrong way. We got Bao here. Bao is a very funny individual. Bao, do you want to come up and say anything? This is Michael Braunstein from Miami. Welcome, Bao. Bao here. I haven't seen Jeff Green or whatever his name is on here for a while. His rooms in the mornings and stuff, he usually holds like a full day session while he's doing whatever. Haven't seen him for a while, or maybe I just am blocked. Who knows? Um, this is the Ayn Rand book reading room. Bao, have you ever read an Ayn Rand book? Bao is also a teacher, yet he comes on here and doesn't really ever have anything academic to teach. He never reads a book. And I always criticize people here who don't take the time to at least read one page a day. And it's just my belief that a book is more valuable than you, unfortunately.
Rand Paul is actually a doctor.
We know. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Michael, your life must be going great if you're on Clubhouse saying bow wow wow. So happy for you. Must be getting the stress must be getting to you, the anxiety of failure. Uh-oh. A beautiful Sunday in Miami. He's got a phone. He's looking at a cellular device and saying bow wow. That's Michael Braunstein's accumulation of life in 2026. Well, it's bow wow is right. So Rabono Shalom, we're gonna read a page. Now, many of you don't read, so just let me do the reading for you. This is the value of knowing somebody who reads a book on Clown House. This is page 29. It's called The Virtue of Productiveness. And it's productiveness is interesting because a lot of people think that what I do is not work or productive. But I just say if I'm a politician, well, then I've already mastered the art of doing nothing and being highly productive.
Dialogue, it's just you giving a directive.
Rabono Shalom.
Question is, did you file taxes this year?
Rabono Shalom. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's all that matters then.
Did you?
I did.
You know, I met a girl at the bar, and she's like, I haven't filed in 6 years. And I was like, you haven't filed your taxes in 6 years? She's like, nope. I was like, you think it's going to turn out well for you? She's like, I don't really know and I don't really care. I was like, well, I love your attitude, but good luck.
Well, I haven't
Shit. Why not?
because I've made $0 since the last time I filed.
Yeah, but can't you still get a refund even if you didn't earn any income?
Never tried.
Oh, well, you ain't part of the community.
No, I like the 7 years I haven't made money.
Yeah. Well, if you have nothing to take, I don't think you have anything to really worry about.
But I'm still a millionaire.
Well, Rabono Shalom, you're about to actually experience page 29 from Ayn Rand. This is the virtue of productiveness. We're going to find out in just a minute.
The electric bicycle company, I'm not sure I'm on their level.
The virtue of productiveness is the recognition of the fact that productive work is the process by which man's mind sustains his life. The process that sets man free of the necessity to adjust himself to his background, as all animals do, and gives him the power to adjust his background to himself. Productive work is the road of man's unlimited achievement and calls upon the highest attributes of his character, his creative ability, his ambitiousness, his self assertiveness, his refusal to bear uncontested disasters, his dedication to the goal of reshaping the earth in the image of his values. Productive work does not mean the unfocused performance of the motions of some job. It means the consciously chosen pursuit of a productive career in any line of rational endeavor, great or modest, on any level of ability. It is not the degree of a man's ability, nor the scale of his work, that is ethically relevant here, but the fullest and most purposeful use of his mind. The virtue of pride is the recognition of the fact that as man must produce the physical values he needs to sustain his life, so he must acquire the values of character that make his life worth sustaining. That as man is a being of self made wealth, so he is a being of self made soul. Atlas shrugged. The virtue of pride can best.
Frank Herbert would do.
Let me finish this page. The virtue of pride can best be described by the term moral ambitiousness. It means that one must earn the right to hold oneself as one's own highest value by achieving one's own moral perfection, which one achieves by never accepting any code of irrational virtues impossible to practice, and by never failing to practice the virtues one knows to be rational, by never accepting an unearned guilt and never earning any, or if one has earned it, never leaving it uncorrected, by never resigning oneself passively to any flaws in one's character, by never placing any concern, wish, fear, or mood of the moment above the reality of one's own self esteem. And above all, it means one's rejection of the role of a sacrificial animal, the rejection of any doctrine that preaches self immolation as a moral virtue or duty. Okay, gentlemen, you've just read one page of Ayn Rand. How do you feel?
Ian Brown. Her name is Ian.
Ayn! Some say potato, some say potato.
right in the fucking mouth.
Hello?
It's not my fault I'm this angry.
It is your fault.
Nah, it's a world this way. Check out Ashwagandha, bro. I've been recommending that to my fellow man. Check that out, bro. It's been really good for me. Ashwagandha. I don't know any. No, there's an ashwagandha. It's like it's a. I would say I know. I was speaking Shona to you, which is like the dialect of the area. Yeah,
You probably seen them.
Like how you doing today, my friend? I'm good. It's for real. How are you? How are you? Hi. We're good. No, I'm high. Smoke a big blunt or what? Hi, how are you?
So Michael Bronstein, what's new in your life? Damn.
I need more weight.
What a life.
What? Fuck you, motherfucker.
Hello?
Oh. Reborn line to line?
I think but
The master of my universe? What?
where you taking mom?
Hey, I'm glad your mother is gorgeous. I wish my mom was so lucky. So, like, he went with his mom to the like turning this like voter cards. That was a cool video. You remember the reality of life?
Rabboni Shalom. Where are you taking mom, Michael?
Alley.
The bowling alley?
Yeah.
What do you roll these days?
I used to roll like 120s or something back in the day. Shit, I'm too picky enough. Like that, 120s, 140s.
Certainly, I am not the atheist. There is no God also. But when I say there is no God, when these people say there is no God, there is a tremendous difference between my statement and their statement. I say that there is does not mean I am this. Certainly, I am not the atheist. There is no God also. But when I say there is no God, when these people say there is no God, there is a tremendous difference between my statement and their statement. Certainly, I am not he. The atheist, there is no God also. But I say there is no God. When these people say there is no God, there is
that we have a consonant and a slightly dissonant third, and they were really, really into consonant thirds or the sweeter third and the somewhat dissonant fifth, which would sound weird to us today.
Yeah, I think people should listen to like just intonation and like any way they can listen, like a pure third or a pure fifth. Every perfect fifth, every power chord that you've heard all your life is out of fucking tune, people. You don't even know it. You're just used to it. That's why it's convention. It's just like it's all like artifice, convention. Hundreds and hundreds of years of this shit. You know, and then you still got the fucking the polka dot duo playing the microtonal music, right? What are their guitars? All sorts of things going on there.
I mean, I just set a sitar track to a sound library, and that shit used tuning all over the place in terms of microphones and stuff.
So if you wanted
It's
to do
a
like,
wonderful thing.
if you wanted to do like Persian tuning, classical Persian tuning on your fucking one of your synths there, could you? What software do you use? I don't really have
Logic
for that.
Pro, you customize the tuning. You go into Logic Pro, and then in the tuning panel, you customize it.
Oh, right. You're following the discussion right now? Yeah. What?
I still would love to know how many races there are.
Forms, government forms, like which race? It's like this Islander, fucking you Mongoloid.
Suggested that there were, I think.
Yard. I'm standing on my back porch right now. You want to hear what it sounds like?
Children. Yeah, try to herd cats all day and see if you don't lose your mind, Regal. I mean, I bet you that if you were set up in a system where you had to,
You just say herding 8 cats and like a fucking animal. Like,
yeah, Regal, the organization I run right now, the organization I run right now has a fleet that I have to manage and do the asset management plan for the whole
where do
thing.
you do that from, Cora?
Well, I have multiple locations. I have.
Where do
I
you
have
do
two
it from?
different
You have
office sites. Or, excuse me, I have 3 different office sites, and I work from home.
And you sit on your ass when you do this work, right?
No, we are sometimes I go to the fucking garage maintenance facility.
That's what we are.
It sounds like it sounds like game. You ain't acknowledging game, bro. If she got to where she is and she's comfortable and she ain't doing hard labor, that's her. That's a skill.
I appreciate
that's her.
that, right? And that's what women tend to do.
Do hard labor. You don't want to do labor. Just go to school.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. But then she's not conceding to the point that it's like men do all the jobs that they take for granted, including going down into the sewers and fucking
I don't
scraping.
think she's taking men for granted, or I don't think so.
So why can't she concede that? Why can't she say, "Hey, I appreciate it"?
Or are you saying men ain't about shit and they aren't integral to society?
No, I'm saying that women participate in that too. Maybe it's smaller numbers, right?
Thank you.
But-
Now you're admitting it. Now, see, now she's admitting
there
it.
are certain things where you act like women, like in the construction industry, right? I'm telling you right now,
These religious.
there's far many more female engineers that are coming up, right? They work in the project
Yeah, what are
management
their
side. They work in the materials
Name
management.
3 of them.
They
Name
do all
3 of them. 3 of them.
you
3 of
site,
them.
there's a pallet waiting there for you.
Right.
There might have been a woman on the
There
other
are
end.
female engineers. That's no doubt about
there
that.
are, but they're not that many.
What? I mean,
You're
they're a double-digit percentage.
the woman is drunk. Who the hell are you to talk about it, Regal?
I mean, when it comes down to hard labor, when it comes down to workers or laborers, that's mostly men, without a doubt. But when we're talking about managers or technical skill or any of that, women are involved in all that.
And I'm not even an engineer, and yet there's a cul-de-sac in the downtown area of my little neighborhood, right? That has an experimental drainage design that I came up with. And it fucking got built. It cost $2 million
I
fucking
barely
dollars.
find enough time
My
to get
fucking
on this
hobby.
Well, then you are an engineer. You are an engineer.
It happened.
How do you do all this stuff and manage to be on this app all day long?
Don't that I did that like 15 years ago.
Because we made money and you ended up tipping your drunk ass. Like you drunk ass haven't gotten there and you're jealous of women. I know he did it all.
I don't think he's that. He just wants the acknowledgement that men, get down and dirty. They're usually involved in a lot of the fields that women typically aren't seen or don't really have representation. I think that's true without denying that women are involved in managerial.
I can't believe you walk into that and see it for what it is. And these chicks over here are so fucking prideful they can't admit it.
It's the way you're coming at them, bro. It's like you're trying to bite their heads off for what?
All I'm saying is, it's what the fuck I'm saying. Pay attention to it.
You're East Coast, where's the West Coast? As you're the West Coast, we're talking West Coast people.
Then I'm talking about all the colleagues that I've had. I had a colleague at the consultant.
West Coast and East Coast, we have great issues because we don't see things the same way.
And worked in LA and was in and out of all of that shit. Like all the
You see how proud she's like
doing all that stuff, right? I have multiple friends who are not bad at it, dumbass stuff that I know.
Just you should be able to detect those.
And I know that they exist, whereas Regal, right, who's up on roofs, can't see them.
Like, there's a thing that needs to be highlighted, man.
Right, you just can't see him while he's on top of the roof. He's like, where are they next to me? He sees a bunch of barths and a bunch of, I don't know. Which is fair. I think women should give that to men. Like, labor is our thing. We take care of that, no problem. I personally wouldn't do it unless I'm paid very well. But other than that, I wouldn't engage in labor. But
Because we're from the West Coast. We don't do.
But women, you gotta understand. Like, women already understand that they're not gonna be the best fit for these environments. They're not gonna be able to keep up with men, so they focus on other career avenues. So they go technical, they go STEM, they go admin. So it's just fair, and we wouldn't have gotten through World War II without women. Like, you understand that, right?
I'm sorry, Olomi. Maybe you're right. I have to talk
That's right.
children and be like really calm in my tone and act like they're that.
Be a self-righteous, high-striving human being who looks down upon others because they're not patriarchs like my religion allows for. And
lady, I look down on you because
why do you go? See, like, just let it. It's already landed. Like, why continue the shit talking? He is East Coast, y'all West Coast. Y'all understand how they are.
yeah, exactly. Now I'm coming to know actually Ilume. I didn't know that. They're like from the Middle Ages.
This is why
about HR. They're all about
this fucking shit. Like, I didn't even know people existed like Rico. To be honest, it's so far away from our world.
because you think that men are fucking feminist cucks, dude, and you really don't care about what men like. You really don't get to know them. You don't know what they're like.
Energy. I'm not even lying at this moment.
At all. It's all about you. It's all about holding the door open for you and then being like, I don't need it because I'm a boss bitch as an engineer. I'm gonna be in a competition with you, and then I fuck that, dude. Like I wouldn't.
It's really not like that.
You're the one that
we open doors. A woman opens doors for men. If you're ahead of someone, you open the door to the guy behind you. That whether it's a man, whether it's a woman, whether it's anybody. It's just how it works.
No. I'm talking about the expectation, the social contract. Men are supposed to.
If you're on a date,
be charming. You're supposed to.
Yeah. I mean, that's the least you could do before you.
There's so many things that you do, right? Okay. How many duties and responsibilities do women have? Like, why do they get so many entitlements?
Because they know how to make them happy. Because they know how to make them happy. He's going doggy style on you. That's
right, but then they don't have to sign up for the draft neither. That's a privilege, don't you think?
I'm good. I don't need them on the battlefield.
Okay, great. Neither do I. But the point remains is that they're so entitled to have it.
They can be on the battlefield. They're nurses. You want to be cutting off people's limbs.
bro. Men really men they don't want to go in the military like that.
They do. Women are in the military. What are you talking about?
Supply chain management and all.
Military. There are women in the military.
I want my full right to sign up for the draft and let it be automatic as soon as I fucking like register.
A lot of women in the military, bro.
There's not a lot of women. There's no feminist organization out to me saying I want my equal.
I don't want women in the military. Personally, I'd rather it just be for
I'm not dealing with the fucking point, dipshit.
Okay. Women are in the draft.
They want to live vicariously through this like fucking equal rights movement. Then how come they equally don't want to be able to sign up for the fucking draft?
Why? They're already signed in.
Why don't they want equality, bro?
But you got a consensus for all women in the United States and their positions?
Before Regal, and I'm like, I would like to see something more like the European system where you could do like
you guys have no
building system.
Here's the one right.
Sure, you wouldn't be talking about this.
When I asked the question, what inherent duty grown adults in this fucking country and to society, you can't tell me not fucking one. One of my duties is to sign up for the fucking draft, dipshit.
Inherent duties, Regal.
Yeah, it is an inherent duty. I have to. I'm forced to because men with guns will come to my fucking house and
arrest me. Not an inherent duty.
Yeah, it is an inherent fucking duty. As a United States citizen, as a man in this country, that you don't have to fucking do because you're privileged.
You're not privileged? Is that what it is?
Actually, there's a lot of men that prefer women not be on the battlefield because, and
we're talking about women rights to men. Do things that men do. How come this is the one thing that they want to do?
Well, you right now are saying that you yourself believe that women are not.
You do rights about inherent.
And I think
care who shows up. If I have a wife, it's going to be over my dead body.
Generally speaking, most men that are, and I've heard this from a Marine, they said they don't want women on the battlefield with them because it inherently they will go and.
Who cares about anecdotal stories? I don't care about anecdotal stories.
I don't expect her to drag my 200-pound ass by the collar if I'm fucking hit. Like, I don't see how she's gonna do that. I'm not saying there aren't women who aren't capable of that. It's just very few, and then the exception doesn't change the rule. They're just not physically built for this kind of environment. Not that men are necessarily physically built to murder each other, so it's not a great place. You don't want to be a part of that. Women can stay as support roles, admin, medical, officers, so technical officers, stuff like that. Not as a combat. Definitely not combat. And I think prime example is October 7th. Like you saw that it wasn't pleasant to see when you're dealing with combatants who are females. It's not a good scene.
Whenever we talk about our contribution in laborious jobs, we actually ignores the fact that we are physically stronger, and it's a gift from nature. It's not something that we earn. So
more upper body strength and more bone density. Women actually have quite strong legs. So we could compensate for some things by done. Yeah.
It's not one is better than the other. We complement each other. Our natures are meant to unite and bring about the full human dynamic, and that's what keeps us going. When we try to do these black and white lines, it's like, what are they, a different race or species? Like, no, they're of us. Or are we criticizing our mothers, our sisters, our aunts, our daughters? And who are they criticizing? Their fathers? Like, which woman is going to say, my father didn't support, my father wasn't expected to be responsible and provide? No, obviously.
Kumbaya. So, want me to take it off again?
Don't encourage this guy to go. I don't know why you're freaking hang out with losers.
I'll roll snowball down the hill.
Count them more than I do.
It's a cutthroat society, man. Like, women got to go out there. They got to have some sort of security. They have to go and get an education. They have to go, and if they don't, they're screwed. Like, time isn't in their favor. You understand? So, women got their own problems. Again, the only reason all of this is the way it is because this country allowed it to be this way. So, whatever, make America great again. I don't think you're going to reverse the.
I don't think allowed is the right verb. I think it's the men preferred it to be this way, and they oppressed and took over systems, and made it like structurally this way. And now they're getting mad that women are saying, "Hey, the structure doesn't work for everyone. Let's."
Nobody's getting mad, Cora. We're not taking away your rights. We're no, you guys
Get off the screen, go out there. Get off the screen, go out there, be ambitious, make money like we do, be self-made like us. Well, then come on.
Do women need to be making tanks and no, but that's what we decided. We wanted to continue that. I believe women should be spouses and should raise children, educators, and all the fields that you need a female in the field.
See, the problem with this is that
that's the duty and responsibility to society that women have to give us back, right? The replacement rate for the human beings we have in society. They don't do that, and they're not compelled to do it neither.
hello?
I'm still compelled to go into a draft, right? And they can vote for a president that I don't like, that could eventually send me to war that they don't have to go to, and that's my duty and responsibility to my fucking country as a man. So, what inherent duties and responsibilities do you ladies have?
Get on the
So you guys want all the freedom, you want all the rights, but you don't want inherent with the responsibility that comes with it, and that's
Hello?
a big issue.
So no, the issue is that you guys are actually doing binary watermelon logics, meaning that when I see a woman, I don't think woman, girl, I just think beauty and intelligence. And so what we're doing now is actually what mankind has always done, which is just respect intelligence, not gender ideology. That's the problem, and that's why so many people are acting in a non-dual or a dual manner. You have to, if you read the what's that famous book, it's like the Hermetic Tablets. One of the axioms about life is essentially the gender, male, female, this binary dualism. Without it, there is no synthesis. The opposites create reality. So all I'm saying is that if you think women need to give us babies to make up for the birth rate loss, like, bro, it's not women's fault. It's the COVID-19 ZAV manufacturers. It's the abortionists. Hello?
Children, right? But that's part of the entailment of duty and responsibilities, right? As you put it, with children, but they're not encouraged to do it.
The greatest dad in the world, never talk to gender.
All right.
I know, but in a real war, women would be included in the real war. I don't understand your point.
Lives in this country, right? But what are their inherent duties and responsibilities? Now, I made this clear. They don't have to have children. But it is kind of automatically assumed that when we go to war, the men and the women stay
Well,
back.
that's the American way of doing it, but in other countries, women also go to war.
This is kind of a genuine thing. This is an egalitarian thing, part of the patriarchy that's been around for a long time, but then we all ignore it because we want to talk about all the bad shit, about how we don't need men, about how we can do it all by ourselves. And then At the same fucking time, they depend on their fathers, they depend on their uncles, they depend on their friends that are in their DMs to keep them company.
Are you Regal? Regal, are you
None of them have responsibilities to these people.
Regal? Are you a Black American?
Responsibility of women. That's all I'm asking.
Regal, are you a Black American? Are you Black? Because I hear black men saying the same thing. I hear black men in black rooms saying the same thing all the time. I was asking you if you're a black man because your complaint is very similar to what other black men complain about. Is this your cope? You accused me and Narges of coping. Now it sounds to me like somebody's coping. I think Regal is coping. This is a cope. Oh my God, Regal, my cope detection system is going off. Coping! Someone is coping!
I'm not sure how the beard would look.
Is that Benny Adam? And man, yeah, he's handsome.
I mean, that was a while back.
Benny, I love you. You're so hot.
Damn. Benny, we look alike.
Sunglasses. These are not.
Benny, you shave your own head, right? Like, how much do you love not having to go to a barber? You don't go to a barber, right? You do all that yourself? Really? Well, I'm just saying, I actually really appreciate doing it all myself.
I like that. I like this.
Or like you're just gonna evade, buddy.
No, you're coping, Regal. There's no reason to entertain your question when you're just coping. It's just a cope.
My question then, be a bitch, nigga.
Okay, cool. It's a cope. I don't care. I got things to do today. I mean, do I really care about a question on a conference call? It's just a public conference call app.
You can't get like a consensual relationship with. You can't even get in a committed relationship with the women you talk to, John.
That's a projection. It's all projection. Life is all projection on this app. Stop projecting on me. Stop projecting on me. You're projecting on me. You're puke projecting on me. This is puke.
Bro, have you ever said no? I don't want to fuck you. Have you ever said that?
Yeah.
He was like, you're not
Yeah. If I'm not attracted to you, I don't want to fuck you. It's pretty simple equation. This chick at the bar came up to me and she was like, I think you're really hot. And she started massaging my thigh. And I said, excuse me, I'm sorry, but I'm in a relationship. And she said, fuck you.
Mo Bucks today?
Hello?
Yes, many times. I have a niece and a nephew and lots of friends with kids. Like, they're not babies anymore.
No maternal instinct, isn't it?
What are you talking about? Yes, I always wanted to have babies.
Or where are your babies at?
I'm not able to have children.
Well, you haven't tried the Semitic.
The Semitic injection? Mm-hmm.
Bring babies into this world, bro. You're gonna be.
Yeah, you should adopt that. Why can't you adopt that?
What do you think, Adam?
You have to be in
لا لا عفوا حبيبي لا عفوا حبيبي بتيخة حبيبي بتيخة حبيبي بتيخة نعم أنا بعرف شوي عربي حبيبي وين محطة الحجاز؟
All right. Now I have a much thicker beard right now.
This feels Cali. You belong. And you look like that.
Benny,
Dude, I was.
get off the facial hair, please.
I thought this was 30.
You see, the problem with California is people move to California thinking they're going to achieve some kind of enlightenment, as if they're going back to something, like going back to Cali. It's not true. It's a wasteland of elite liberals. That's it. Elite liberals. Elite liberal Democrats. Oh, I'm an elite liberal Democrat intellectual. I'm an intellectual elite Democrat. Listen to me. I am your leader. I am an intellectual elite liberal Democrat. I am your leader. Listen to me. Do as I tell you to do. Hello?
Austin is so like.
Say no to Rigo. Everyone say no to Rigo.
And now it's COVID. I went there while during COVID, and it was brand new. It's like everything's brand new infrastructure, heavily geared towards tech. They have a waterfront. They have this river thing going on.
I've been to Austin. I would if I were going to.
And it's all California.
Mm-hmm.
San Antonio. That's your like, a Bay Area or Tarrant.
Look out, everybody. Regal is sending 2 cents to everybody. I think he's trying to say something.
You're not a woman. He has to suck up to us.
So let's talk about the patriarchy versus the new matriarchy. Because if you can't have a patriarchy, you can only have a matriarchy. And all I got to say is that the matriarchy without the patriarchy is not an archy. It's not a party.
Yeah.
Well, Rabbono Shalom, I'm very excited that it turns out that Israel is annexing Gaza. I don't know if you saw the news, but they're going to forcibly remove all the Gazans. No, it's in the news today. It's crazy. And guess who's doing it? The spy, Jeremy Pollard.
But like the beardless, I don't like facial hair very much. So.
No?
You want a razor?
Well, I don't mind the. I don't mind the. I don't like long beard hairs.
Actually, go ahead. Like get rid of the beard, like they like it, but it's just like
I literally I appreciate this. I totally get it. Men that I'm not interested in being intimate with, I'm like, go have a beard, whatever. It looks good on you, right? But the thing is that like because of my like sensory issues with my autism, I can't stand the feeling of it. Like it just doesn't work for me.
Like what are we talking? Soft or coarse or
I don't like the little hairs touching me in places.
Like, okay, so you don't like a short beard. You like a longer one.
No, I don't like. No, I don't mind like the shadow. That doesn't bother me. It's like it's like when the hairs can like move, and I don't know how to explain it. It's sensory overload. Yeah.
Well, Narja's is clean head to toe.
I thought it was gorgeous, but anything longer than that is.
Yeah, she just doesn't like beards.
PTR, look at my beard in my PTR and tell me, how does my beard make you feel right now?
You wouldn't be able to get near me with your face. No.
Well, if you knew that I could play the just imagine what I could do just imagine sitting on my face and imagine me playing the harmonica on your pussy.
Dry me out. Too much wind.
It's true. It's kind of gross. As you're eating a pussy out, you're actually like maintaining the saliva in your mouth because you don't want to swallow a mouthful of pussy juice. So you're kind of like letting the juice just like sit in your mouth. And then you're like, spitting it into the hole to like, anyways, I'm just saying it gets very wet, as everyone knows. And there's a methodology to the madness. Hello?
Wow, John. How the hell do you spit it back in the hole? Like, how do you do that? Oh, fuck is crap. Like, why do you even do that? Why do you even go down that? Other ways. Yo, are we done talking to Muslims? I think. We're done talking to Muslims, right? I don't know.
Rumi is a Muslim.
Do we need to like? I don't think we should just go down that road anymore. Because honestly, man, we're just being lied to. What else are you gonna talk about? It's just theology. Like we're retired. I already had this notion that it's coming down to this, but I believe this already happened before, and and I left, and then I found you back to square one. I know I've done this. Yeah, when you leave, you mess up the whole like I say, like the whole I need to go to our work with this guy.
Entity.
Yeah,
The
it's
ecosystem.
in the cycle. Well, don't worry, Barth. I won't be departing until I drop the full last.
You guys are patterning. You guys are just redundant patterns.
Have to go through the whole. Guess what? It's doing it right now. It's going to compile every one of the narrative divergences.
Hello?
It's just
Oh, okay. You're gonna start taking notes.
symbolism. So
Got it. When do you start reading a book? I'm just asking, when do you read a book?
read a book all the time. What the fuck do you read a book?
You know who's the real man in 1 second, Megatron? You know who the real man is in all of this? It's Megatron, surrounded by 5 most beautiful women. For you, Megatron, I shall give you.
Yeah, I'm gonna focus more on other stuff. I gotta find another topic to get obsessed with. I can give you 5. The Icarus hand. I can have history, which would include divine providence. Previous revelation. There are the Vedas that showcase clear motifs, themes in the Abrahamic tradition. There's also what Cora was talking about last night with the Greek mythology. So that previous tradition. So we went history, divine providence, previous tradition.
Oh my god, it sounds like a book club.
Stance would just be the Bible.
It's a book club.
Based on that,
It's always a book club.
this would be a divine revelation.
God, it's a book club. I'm just saying, it's always a book club.
You got your natural science, your physics, and you got your metaphysics.
Oh my god, it's a book club.
Physics, natural science.
You pick a book, you read the book.
It's history and your chosen final revelation. So this is what you're going to base your axioms on.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen in the end? All your scriptures are going to get debunked. Once Cora takes
It's a book club.
I take on the Vedics. Megatron takes on the Bible.
Why haven't you? Please provide me the project, create a consolidation file, and a PDF so I can download and provide for my end.
Scriptures will be debunked doing this.
Because I already have project like betas on, but I can give you the outline if you want the full like structuring of what.
It's a book club.
I can already give you initial data that showcases symmetry or highlights clear motifs shared. So we can do that. I already have a preliminary on this. But like I said, it's someone who would be more familiar with that branch that they would understand better and probably be able to read the original language or within the same family tree.
Good evening to everyone on this platform. My name is Mugenjo Dwafula from Uganda, and As a new member in this platform. Just wish to send greetings to you people and really appreciate the great work you are doing on this platform. Thank you. Let us keep on discussing issues. I'll join with my view.
Great work. So you didn't see like 3 days ago. I'm taking it. Well, let me give you a good example of what I think is a biopic that worked, in part because it wasn't cradle to grave. And now I'll do one that you blacks likes. It was the Tina Turner one.
Yeah, it was good.
It's not a cradle to grave, and so what it really is the Ike years, right? And that's what I'm saying. It's just the Ike years isolates that, and it gives you some detail. There's more to go. She's not popular enough now for them to do another one, so they'll never do another one, and people care about them.
Mine is the head of the man, and my insight is keen as the hawk's. By my head I invoke. I am the only begotten Father. Father, my Father is dead. By my body I invoke thee. About his times. By their brightness I invoke thee. By the Lamb I invoke thee. I invoke. It's a song. By the Son. I invoke. I invoke. Of the Master. By the song I invoke.
My hands are so so of the man. My insight is keen as the hawks by my bed. I invoke thee. I am Give me the sign of the open eye, a riddle of shadows where whispers lie, the thorny sigh, the maddening cry. Open, open, open. I am aware the serpent shakes. The eagle strikes with his jagged claw. The beasts emerge as the gods withdraw. A storm of silence, a broken I to death, reborn on the hand. I under neon skies where the starlit hums. Shadows whisper truths as the bassline drums. Thou will is fire, unchained, untamed. No path is written. Thou art right, but to do thy will. Rush of the thrill. Shattered glass where the circuits glow. Lost flow, but it doesn't show. No purpose, no turn. Everywhere perfect. On the brink, no trains, no bars, just a void to fill. Every pause, every spark is a perfect world. Go to but into thy will. Silence. It's alive. From lost of the thrill. In the end, let's go where the echoes play. No other shall say nay. No other shall stay. Through the light, smoke, let it all decay. The world's free. I walk alone where the silence hums. No shadow shakes, no voices come. The air is thick, wraps me tight. No fear, no sin, no way to bear. Sweetness whispers everywhere. Sweet, sweet, fills my breath. So if all help it lights my way, contentment blooms where I choose to stay. Trusting where hearts fear no sin, no way to go. The sweetness whispers every
No fire burn like passion wild. No losing through like hatred piled. This body aches, a cage of stone. Rest whispers soft, the only throne. There's the beast, sharpest it's constantly. It's free. Pain walks close, a shadowed friend. Each step we take, it will attend. But joy lies quiet, just out of view. A higher peak, a sky so blue. There's the beast, the sharpest sting. It's constantly. It's free. Atmosphere. No chain is tied. This body's war. This endless fight. But higher still. Beyond the fray. Rest calls my name. I obey.
complex. No problem, bro. Like I can just tell me high school level. What do you want me to speak in?
Can't you see by my profile picture that I am in solidarity with the black community on Clubhouse?
I'm sorry, Manville. It is Jewish month this month, so
For the children.
let's stay focused.
It's Jewish month. It's Jewish month.
See, apparently Trump declared May
Good boy, Manville.
Good boy.
is Jewish month, like the Star Wars month, the Mother Day month.
So I just want to point out that if you are a Gnostic, well, guess what you can do? You can go to Grok AI and you can say, write me a Gnostic poem about this or that. And then you can take that poem and put it into Suno AI and make an incredible song in any category of music you want. It could be jazz, could be choir and orchestra or opera. And when you experience that Gnostic flow of union, through music and AI, it's just incredible. And so, these are things that I've been working on, and it's really just artwork. So, Gnosticism is artwork, and it's all a big book club. And if part of being a Gnostic is shutting the fuck up, because if you use this app 7 days a week for dopamine and conscious awareness attention making, you're a schmuck. You should just do what I just told you to do and call it a day. Go to your garden, jerk off, sit in the sun, pop a beer, smoke a little joint, and just relax. It's all gonna be okay. Hello?
Fucking crazy, bro.
John, can I make a suggestion for a book?
God needs a woman. I'm with me,
A
bro.
lot of women. Yeah, you don't. You.
It's a TJ will get rid of all this crap that you're going through right now. Rewire you.
He does have enough. His supply of women are like infinite. John, can I suggest a book for you after? He does. He went to the bar last night. I was there. I saw him.
Honestly, yeah, it's on it.
John, could you read We the Living after this read, please, if you don't mind?
Well, just read it yourself. I'm busy over here in a Gnostic meditation. Hello?
I can feel talking. Stop! Don't let this man talk. I heard you're a sheriff now.
Maybe.
That's good. Although, see you pulling me over and I'm be like, Anvil, you need to chill, bro.
Show me your bang.
I'll be like, sir, I'm a veteran. You gonna really do this? You gonna give me a ticket?
Oh, dude, that's the best. We used to go camping. We used to take my boyfriend at the time. His dad had Purple Heart plates. We were like driving through Montana, fast as we could, and yeah, made the truck bulletproof. Those Purple Heart plates. No one fucked with us.
Little did they know that he got scalded by some water out of the microwave that some fucking specialist left at the barracks.
No, he actually lost his leg, and he after he got back from in World War II, and after he got back from that, he became a prosthetics engineer, and he made prosthetic limbs for other people.
But he wasn't on the trip with you. You were just borrowing the car.
Yeah.
Well, Rabbono Shalom, I am deep in a Gnostic meditation, and interestingly enough, there's over 15 different types of Gnostics. You got the secret Catholic Gnostics. There's even the Order of the Knights of St. John. There's so many different Gnostic cults or sects throughout the world, and they go by many different names and traditions, but they are all essentially trying to do the same thing, which is be one with the one. And guess what happens when you add 1 plus 1? You get 1, not 2. 1, not 2. Hello?
Gnosticism is a great Gnosticism, aka Neoplatonism, is a good solution to one, the problem of evil, two, the problem of one and many. Like it explains some of the most important philosophical questions that human beings ask.
Really, this.
One plus one, John, because you're already part of the one.
It's only one.
Aware of it.
It's only one. So it's the rule of one. One implies one. All that comes from one can only be one.
But are you banking on the
What are you banking on?
Your ass.
Well, I just would like to contribute a little more to this Gnostic meditation and encourage you all to take the deepest breath of the day and hold it for 10, not 11, 10, not 9 seconds.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Ooh, who put Mandel down?
Well, why'd you do that?
Good Sean. Why did you do that? Should I bring him up? Come on, Mandel.
I did that by mistake.
what the fuck was that?
Sorry. I did that. No bell ringing unless yeah.
What's going on, man?
No bell ringing.
Ring my bell. Ring my bell. Ding, ding. Ding, dong.
Right now.
Oh, that's good.
On my way back to Georgia, God's country.
God's country.
That's right.
Are you up there in the panhandle or what?
What are you guys going to start talking about the weather next? This is a Gnostic meditation for a group of Gnostics. You guys sure don't know how to be very Gnostic. Sorry for ringing my bell, but sometimes I like to ring my bell, ring my bell, ding, 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 ding. So the first step in initiating a Gnostic invocation is to shut up and to listen and use your ears to listen. That is the first part of all meditation is listening and shutting the fuck up. So take the deepest breath of the day and get ready to use your ears and shut your trap. For years you come on here and you just generate your dopamine talking to talk. You know, not very Gnostic of you. Hello? You know, try to quiet the inner voice in your head to a minimum and just shut up and listen.
Brother, how old is your mother?
You angry. I'm happy. Leave me alone. Are you angry? Happy. Leave me alone. That's what I call a black woman's Gnostic meditation. You angry. I'm happy. Leave me alone. You know what you need to do is probably open a book and shut up. And maybe try to create an audiobook. Read a book for 2 hours and record yourself reading it. And then come on Clubhouse and just play the 2-hour recording of you reading the book. That would be your audiobook. And you could shut up. No one would have to listen to you anymore talking because you're wasting other people's time with your talking. You're not meditating yet. You're not doing a Gnostic invocation. You keep talking, but you're not listening. And your ears are the source and the center of all your Gnostic meditation. You know, you guys just keep talking every day. 8 hours a day, you come here, you talk, you talk. You're just like birds in a tree. Hello?
Yep. So PCB, bro.
What the fuck was that?
Just does that.
Hello?
He needs to get laid.
It's true.
Not practicing that generative principle, bro.
He is a Jew. Hypocrisy kind of it.
I'm Jewish. I'm a Gnostic.
I miss the drive going down to Georgia.
You know how neo-Nazis allegedly stole the OK symbol? Well, it turned into this thing where you got a bunch of fucking lefties go, "Oh my god, he used the OK supremacist," whatever. Right?
The OK symbol.
Yeah. Like okay with your hands. Apparently, it stands for white power now.